are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day. Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close
Hello everyone and welcome back to RSC11 League Play. We are in Week 6 at the moment and today is the last day of Week 6 as we go into Sunday's streamed matches 3 up for grabs here for you to watch at home, and we're going to start it off in the elite tier with Zulu taking on Deception. Zulu having a much better position in the table compared to them. They're sitting up at 4th. Deception are bottom at the moment, so they're definitely going to need to get some results on the board as we head into the latter end of RSC11. But joining me for this first one today is going to be Merritt. How are you doing?
Great, can't wait to get into the action. We're covering 2 series. We're going up to Master in about an hour's time, but this first series is a bit of a mismatch in terms of, position in the table, but Deception recently making a roster change, signing Love to the roster, so maybe we'll see an upwards trend start for them. Yeah,
he'll hope to turn around his first game form for them, because he did get swept in the only series he's played so far. That was against, presumably, Deception earlier on, and they've since lost 1-3 to Scorch as well, so they haven't had a win on the board since their 3-1 against Temple, and since then they've gone 1-12. Definitely room to improve, both in terms of form and in terms of their overall standing. Looking at the team stats, everything is most things are going to head Zulu's way. The shooting percent just about, that may be where something Deception can take advantage of. The Zulu aren't the most accurate, at least compared to them, and Deception also do have more saves, so that's perhaps something to be expected from the team that's been defending more of the two.
Definitely, as I said, shooting percentage quite low, so we're going to see a lot of shots, maybe not the highest amount of goals, so that will definitely play into it. And as you said, Zulu a lot more saves, a lot more defensive team. Pulse 60, Cynics 58, so they're very reliable when it comes to that defensive side of the pitch.
Yeah, the only other thing that's noticeable for Deception is their demo. It's 144 for them compared to Zulu's 101, and going into the player stats, you can definitely see a lot of that comes from Hazza. I'm going to assume that whoever Love replaced also got quite a few demos on the board, because Anthony and Hoggy have about average, especially compared to Zulu, who are all sitting around that 20 to 30 mark. So Hazza's demo is going to be something to watch out for Zulu, and as well, of course, he is the highest CMV player for this illusory side. And yeah, the goals are also, he's got the most, he got one more than Anthony, and we've also seen Anthony in previous seasons, being rival player this season. He's definitely got some experience. There's a lot of experience from these players in RSC previously that they can call on, but we'll have to see if Deception can make that count where they have it more than Zulu, considering the RSC very, very different RSC11s so far.
Deception, coming towards the end of the season, still in dead last, so we need to pull off maybe a minor miracle, you could call it, to make it to that play-ins. But Zulu, on the other hand, chasing that playoffs, the top 3 positions. Cynics, with every game played so far for his team, 40 games, going 21-19, scoring 26 goals, 27 assists, and 58 saves.
Yeah, some very impressive stats. Pulse is the top defensive player in terms of, I'm reading the wrong stat, but it does also apply for saves. Most shots and most saves across this whole lobby. He's definitely got a lot to his name, and most goals, so Pulse is definitely going to be one to look out for. Another player who's had very successful seasons in RSC in the past, and I don't think there's any rookies on the board here. Everyone's played multiple seasons, so it's definitely not going to be any streamers. They've all going to have played in positions like this before, so have to make sure they get right into it immediately, because if either of these teams gets nervous and starts facing up to the pressure and realizing what situation they're in, the other team's going to take full advantage.
It's a very experienced lobby, like you said, but let's move on to our predictions for this series. I'm going to go with a pretty convincing Zulu 3-1 victory. What about you?
This time I'm gonna try and play it a little bit more dangerously. I was gonna say draw, but no, I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna go Deception to take it, just to make things interesting and see if they can actually play under pressure. They've got a caster going their way. They're going up against a much higher placed team. Let's see if they can do it. I'm gonna tell all the players to go, and we will be starting off series number 1 of this Sunday Week 6 stream. Zulu taking on Deception. Deception trying to play underdog and grab that upset win. Merritt, take it away.
Yep, game 1 about to get started. Solo versus Deception. Cynics beating Anthony on the kickoff, gets the follow-up, gets it past the last defender, but Hazza comes across cover, it finds Anthony on the right hand side. Bonesy, good 50. It's just going to fall over Bonzi to follow itself up, and that's an early goal for Zulu. Perfect start, and just took 9 seconds to find that first goal with a good 50 from Bonzi and the follow-up.
Just too quick for the whole Deception defense there. Doesn't need any help from Cynics or Pulse, does it all himself, and the man, the myth, the legend, Bonzi has the first one in under 10 seconds. Very impressive start for Zulu.
And kickoff going back into that orange half. Anthony and Hazza both waiting. Pulse, maybe a little bit of a fake there, and Bonzi will follow up, but he can't find the target at all. I think Deception got a little bit lucky there, but Cynics puts it back in the middle. Love, big whiff. Pulse is there to capitalise, and 30 seconds, 2 goals to the good for Zulu.
Deception really off to a rough start here. 2 goals down, Love on orange ping as well. None of it seems to be going their way, and probably something that they feared coming into this, so they wouldn't even be able to get grip on this series. And Zulu to take it away. Anthony's going to flash one onto the woodwork, but there's no respite for them just yet, and Zulu are immediately back into the red half. Hazard with a good clear, and so Bonzi and Pulse look a little bit out of sorts. Pulse eventually recovers and makes sure there's no rebound chance. Bonzi to clear, and Zulu settle back into defense.
Deception immediately trying to start playing a little bit faster, just prioritising on getting the ball downfield through Anthony. Another big boom into the middle. Cynics and Bonzi both going for it. Cynics trying to put it back into the middle. Has a no boost, sends it away. Love will take it towards the blue half. He's going to go by himself. Pulse makes a stop. Anthony puts it back in, and Cynics will be the one to get the clear. He's going to try and go for that 50. Hazza getting his first demo of the series. Surely we'll see more of those. Pulse, that's not the kind of clear that you're wanting. Anthony not able to get the reads. Bonzi bumped out the way. Hazza puts towards net, and it could be a goal back, but not quite for Manhattan.
A long clearance down from Zulu to make sure there's no other chance for them. Deception will still look for a way to open their account for this series. Good demo from Love. Hazza is going to set something up for Anthony to go for, but onto the backboard, and no one was there for the follow-up. Now Love takes his turn, but can't get past Bonzi, and Anthony receives it, still pushing it down this left-hand side. Pulse's clearance is weak. Hazard's going to have another chance to set something up, but it's a tame effort onto the backboard for Cynics to control, and he finds Pulse, who can try to take it out of defense. He's advancing up the pitch here. Off the ceiling he goes, but too far ahead of the ball, and Anthony takes it away from him. Bonzi's intercept is met by Love. Another one sent to the backboard. This time they do not make contact, and Cynics has to follow it up to this left-hand side. He's now found by Bonzi. He's going to try and complete yet another pass between the two of them, but this time the Deception player gets in the way. No touch for Pulse. Cynics beats Hazza. We're into some midfield mayhem at the moment as both teams look to try and get another goal on the board, but no big chances for a while, and it's definitely going to go not Deception's way, considering they're the ones chasing it and they want to get more chances on the board. They've had 5 shots. They're out shooting Zulu 5-2, but Zulu with 100% shooting percent, Deception was 0.
Something I've been noticing about Deception is they've been playing a lot very physical. There's the Cynics getting bumped there, and he puts it towards net, and the 6th shot finally goes in. Anthony, with 2 minutes left, gets one back off of the back of a very physical play, which destroyed rotation a little bit from that Zulu side.
The Swede hits his mark, beats the 2 Zulu players on the line, and brings Deception back into this. They'll be very glad that that one went in finally. They make one of their shots count. They're definitely not down and out of game 1 just yet, although if they conceded another one it won't look too good. Anthony make sure this one isn't heading into the back of their net, but Bonzi will keep it alive here. Pulse is going to chase, but Hazza's quicker. Now it's pushing again. A counter opportunity maybe here for Deception. Love is going to ping it into the middle. Hazza's passed it. Anthony has the chance instead, but Cynics shuts it down and forces Deception back into their own half.
Deception are really starting to try and take control of this game. I'm not seeing Zulu have many chances since those first 2 goals. Anthony gets that one past Cynics, and now another counter attack again, but Paul's going to call it out. Hazza alone on defense. He does get that slight clear, and he's going to try and wait for the 50, but Bonzi gets the better of it. Love just going to pop it over using all of his boost now, but Deception not able to get out of their own half just yet, but Anthony going to be the one to do so. But it's just going to roll back into Zulu's possession. They're just going to boom it away. I believe that was a double commit. Hazza will get credit for the save. Cynics back into the middle. And it's just Deception into the last minute, can't find any more chances out of this Zulu defense.
Done very well though to make sure Zulu have had no chances while they've been in defense for as long as this clock stays ticking down while it's just the 1-goal lead. Deception will have chances on the counter, will still have hope in this game number 1 and making something happen, but Pulse has so much time and space here in the air, and he slots it with aplomb. Brilliant from Pulse to perhaps shut down game 1 for Zulu.
Yep, he was absolutely dimed up by, I believe it was Hazu, just trying to flick it into the air. Pulse reacted first, and he gets the double tap. Love wasn't able to do anything about it, and now 31 seconds away. This first game's gone. That could have put it into the bed, but Deception will keep on pushing. This kickoff not quite going their way. Pulse beaten by Hazlitt to that one. Bonzi setting it away, putting more seconds off the clock. Love can't get all the way away. Cynic's gonna try and follow his own touch. Anthony gets it past Pulse. Bonzi's there. A little bit of a nervy moment, but it will be enough to secure game 1, and fairly convincing performance from Zulu, wouldn't you say?
They wasn't dominating, but they did look pretty confident in themselves to get it over the line. Even when Deception were coming at them, they only let one through, and for the most part were pretty solid on defense. Deception in the end were the top shooters on that one, 7-4, but they only finished 1, and definitely going to need to improve on that. But I think they'll take confidence from this, knowing that they're not going to be completely out of the game. This at the start really looked like Zulu were just going to set up for a perhaps 5-0, 6-0 win, but Deception made sure that didn't happen, didn't lose confidence, and they can go into game 2 knowing that Zulu are not unbeatable here. They will have their chances.
Yeah, but Zulu's main, vector as to why they won that was Pulse. A 565-point game to start of the series, 2 goals and 3 saves. 100% shooting accuracy as well, so you've got some clinical shooters over in the Zulu side, but Deception not so much. Haza went 0 for 3 in that first game, but they've made pressure, and if they can convert it, I don't see why they couldn't go on to win this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Pulse was definitely the player with the most impressive stats going into this one, and he does follow that up with an impressive game 1 showing for the MVP performance for Zulu, so I'll have to see if Deception can figure out a way to slow him down, make him doubt himself a little bit more, because if he keeps going like this, he'll be very confident that he can be that star man for Zulu on this streamed match.
Yeah, the game's underway. It's Pulse with that kickoff, getting it all the way to the orange corner, and they're going to take his time, but the bounce gets away from Mo, but it gets 50 past the next Bonzi towards net. Love will bail his tonight for that one's going to try and get away, but Pulse back towards net. Anthony with his first save of the game, just 15 seconds in, already 2 shots to Zulu's name. And Deception already feeling the pressure, but is in the blue half finally. Bonzi gets down by Haz, is going to leave it for Anthony, kind of get into the middle, gets it past Pulse, barely gets the 50. Pulse getting credit for the save, and very back and forth to start off game 2.
And despite Deception being the ones under the pressure early here, last time when they conceded 2 shots in the opening 30 seconds, they were 2 goals down. This time it's still 0-0, and that gives plenty more confidence for Deception that they haven't gone down so quickly, and that they will still be able to fight in this 0-0 situation. They're the ones back in control. The Pulse will take it away from them and sets it up for Bonzi. Haza and Love both completely take their eye off the ball. Both sitting on the goal line, neither of them goes to challenge, and Bonzi's left with the easiest shot in the series so far. Still no way for Deception to get past the minute mark without conceding.
I think there's just a situation of neither of them had boost and just failed to communicate it, because Love went for the squishy save which left half the goal completely exposed. Haza failed to cover it, and Bonzi had the open net and struck it cleanly to get in, and now back down to the orange end as Cynics can't put it in. And it's been Haza trying to get past Bonzi. Bonzi will be getting demoed by Haza, and she's going to roll towards that blue corner. Haza trying to take it towards the middle. Cynics back to where it came from. Infield pass. Anthony can't get on the end of it. 50 cleared away by Pulse. He's going to have another touch in it. Flip reset not achieved it there. Haza trying to bail out that 50. He does. Anthony comes across. And a little bit more pressure now from Deception.
That's even more concerning than last time, though. They're failing to get shots on the board. Only the one from Anthony, and that was before Zulu went ahead. still needing to up their offensive margins here. Zulu once again just setting up in defense comfortably. This is a miss from Pulse, so Love can sneak in and sends it off of the crossbar. Pulse removes the rebound opportunity. That was Deception's best chance yet. Now Love misses off the backboard. Pulse wasn't expecting it though. Love misses again. Bonesy can try and win a 50, but setting off to the right for Hazard to push forward. Bonesy's up for this one much quicker than Anthony is, but Love is on the end of this one. Is pushed back into the blue third, and Deception still pushing for this opening goal. And Game 2, Love is there, but flies past it. It's off of the inside of the post and in for Anthony's goal. Was this an own goal? I'm not entirely sure what happened. Yeah, it was Anthony's touch from the corner that eventually found its way in, as it was Pulse who absolutely sends it for the own goal. 1-1.
Yep, and Deception going to count themselves a little bit lucky not actually registering the shot that eventually went in. It's a tied game though, as Anthony will claim credit for that one. But Zulu straight back into pressuring Deception. Cynics mucking up his area a little bit there, and I Love gonna play fast. Anthony gets one down, can't get the second. He gets it. Flip, Love does. Cynics can't get the clear. Anyone there? Anthony's there. Deception after the leads, and it was a very quick counter attack. The physical play worked out, and Anthony was there to get the open net, and now it's Deception in the lead of game 2.
Such a well-worked goal for their first lead of the series, especially when Love had just had a couple misses that were a bit concerning. He does much better there with the flick over the first player. Gets it in the middle for Anthony to circle back around after the physical play and get them into the lead. Here's another chance for them. Hazza can't make the most of this one, but Zulu suddenly are looking a lot more frightened. They're just inviting Deception in, and where previously they'd looked prepared in defense, they're now a lot more higgledy-piggledy and leaving more gaps for the illusory side to make the most of. Cynics will hit this one central, but Anthony and Love both there to defend and sending it straight back to blue half. Hazard controls, has a flash at net. Don't see the save. Pulse is going to send this one away, and Deception keep on pushing.
Yeah, but this is what we want to see from them after that game 1. They just weren't. They're fighting the pressure, but it wasn't really meaningful. But this is very meaningful pressure. It's forcing Zulu into awkward situation. This could be equalizer. Love comes across to cover it. Anthony down the other end. Cynics gonna have to prepare himself. Doesn't get the touch. Bonesy does though. Haz will be up for that one, but no one there to follow up except for Anthony himself. As they're trying to get past Pulse, doesn't. This could be the start of an attack for Zulu. Love gets it past Cynics though. Bonesy, last man infield to Pulse. Is Cynics there? No, he'll go back. And into the last minute is Deception with the lead. Will they be able to hold on?
Last time we were in a midfield battle, Zulu scored the third goal to shut down game 1. This time, Deception definitely the ones on top. They're once again out shooting, this time only 5-4, but definitely been the better team in game 2. Anthony with the ground pinch, not too much behind it though, and Bonesy can't take it to control. Zulu are gonna need to find a bit of extra oomph in these final 30 seconds, but it will not matter in all likelihood, because Anthony finds a third for Deception. He has his hat-trick, and the Swede is feeling it in game 2.
Yeah, but it's looking like the same as game number 1, a third goal going in the last 30 seconds. Where have I seen that before? That's right, last game. Will Deception hold on? Now from the stats, it would not be the wisest to go against it, but Cynic's going to try and prove me otherwise. Shot not in. Pulse a bit too far back, now has to face Hazard. He's got the flick, but it's a bit too high. He's in there to follow up. Anthony puts it back on the backboard. Pulse going to take his time leading it for Cynics. He also uses a lot of boost though. And Love not quite getting the hit he wants. Pulse puts in the middle. Hazard away. Cynics towards net. Anthony there. Hazard going to try and redirect it, but I think that's going to be game 2 in the books, and Deception on the board for man of that.
Very improved performance from all three, but of course especially from Anthony to grab that hat-trick and even a couple of saves. That last one at the end against Cynic, not a tough one, but was well placed to deal with it, to make sure there wasn't any last chances for Zulu to come back into it. They were definitely the better team this time around, and perhaps they were in game 1 as well. And if I was to favour anyone to keep on getting wins in this series and take the win, I did predict it after all, I would be putting my money behind Deception at the moment, because they are looking better, and Zulu looks pretty shocked that Deception were able to come back into this series so well.
Very big performance from Anthony. getting a hat trick and 585 points to his name, really led his team to that victory. And if you can keep that up, I don't see why Deception can't go and take it. But I think Zulu, the initial shock period from that game to Riot from Deception may be over, and I think they'll return to normality and take the win.
I think Zulu are going to be looking to Cynics to provide something for them. He didn't reach 100 points in this game too, and he went 0-3 as well. Any of those shots go in and completely change game 2, but wasn't hitting the mark where his fellow countryman Anthony definitely was. So room for improvement for all three of Zulu, I'd say, but especially Cynics. He's been playing at a level below a pair of his teammates that he's working with.
Yep, front away, very powerful pinch. Bunzi making the stop, get a second touch. Cynics not there to follow up. Pulse gonna be forced to slow things down. Anthony gets the 50. Bunzi just gonna take away again, but Anthony's still there. Cynics sends it to the corner again. Just a little bit past the lob. He's gonna leave it for Hazza. Cynics just gonna send it away and gives possession back. That's a pass out. Where's Anthony? Double commit there from Zulu. Hazza to the corner. Love just screaming it a little bit. Can only settle for that hit to the backboard, but early pressure again from Deception. That one could be going in. No, Anthony denies it. Cynics with control of the ball. He gets the pinch pass to Love. Pulse not expecting it, and that was the biggest chance of game 3 so far.
Love did well though to get something on it and take the ball away from Pulse, but this time it surely is, but Bonesy is denied by Anthony, putting in work at both ends, and he's bringing it all the way down to the other end for the counter. It's off of the sidewall. He's looking for the finish himself, but has to settle for the 50 instead, and Love will send it to the left. He's going to battle for this 50. Pulse has us looking for Anthony on the right, but flies on by, and Cynics is left to collect and start the push for Zulu. He's still got control. Up the corner wall he'll go. Gonna have teammates waiting in the center. Can he find them? Pulse was a little bit behind the ball, but he took his time, waited for Deception to make the mistake, and he was rewarded for it. Zulu strike first.
You're wanting to step up. He has done there, getting himself the assist and getting the ball past all of the Deception defenders. Pulse was there to follow up, and this time Deception's gone more than a minute of it conceding, but only a minute 30. But they still have to get back into this one. Hazza took for Anthony, can he get the second touch? Cynics is there, that one goes straight towards the backboard. Hazza not expecting can Cynics get the second touch. He does. Hazza gets the stop. Somehow, some way he keeps that one out. And I think come down the other end, double commits from Deception. But they have a little bit of time and space. Cynics trying to find Pulse again. He does. That was a very routine finish off the double commit from Anthony and Love.
Of course, Cynics will be happy with this one, but he still hasn't hit the back of the net, instead setting up yet another goal for a teammate. Pulse, of course, going to score that one with the other side of the net gaping, and Zulu are into a 2-0 lead. The first time that they haven't, not the first time, but the first time since game 1 that they've done that, of course, as Deception did equalise in game 2, but looks like they're back to their old ways. Anthony might have something to say though. Instead it's Hazza. Anthony cannot find double, relies on his teammate for the rebound, and they're on the same wavelength. Anthony can call that he's not going to make it. Hazza comes in behind, and neither Bonesy or Cynics can make the stop. Deception once again keeping things interesting.
Yeah, that's a very quick response from Deception. 1-2 goes down, but just seconds after getting one back, and kickoff goes to Love. He has boost for the follow-up, gets it past Bonesy. No one there on the infield though. Cynics is going to absolutely boom it away. He gets the second touch, but no one is there for Zulu. Pulse going to be left to restart the attack, trying to get past Hazza, but he left it too long to get past him, and now, but they still have the ball. Cynics trying to follow that one up, shot a bit too low to really challenge the defense there, but still pressure on Deception. Anthony going to try and carry it away. He gets it past one, trying to put infield. Hazard there. He gets the B. Is anyone there for the follow-up for Deception? No, it's only Pulse there, and Love trying to keep it going. Can't get past Bonesy. Pulse maybe going for the redirect, but realising he couldn't make it. Has not the best clear. Good demo from Bonesy, and that's the dunk. Cynics 3 assists. Pulse 3 goals. 3-1 to Zulu.
This is ridiculous for Cynics though. He's now shooting 0-7, but everything he does, it just doesn't go in. It just sets up for Pulse instead, and I'm sure that he'll still be very happy with that as they're back into this 2-goal lead, and this dynamic partnership that they have made in Game 3 that they have established is ripping Deception to shreds. So can they have one back here though to Hazza? Hazza flashing across net, but none of his teammates want to go for it. They were convinced they were going to get the clear, but they don't, and in the end it goes all the way down the other end. Pulse almost gets his fourth, but it comes off of the post. Can he finish it off himself? No, Love will take it away from the goal line. Bonesy's going to try and keep it alive, but nothing for him in the corner here. Zulu are looking for this fourth goal. They're not happy. Pulse for the double, but he cannot find it. He will hit it off target and Love will collect, but Cynics just takes it straight back off him. It's still Zulu pressure. It's up in the air, lurking. Surely Pulse is going to get another, and it will go in. Cynics 4 assists, Pulse 4 goals.
Yeah, but Zulu from game 1 is back, but a lot stronger even. And it just left Deception shell-shocked a little bit. 3 goals is good at minute 25 left. There still is a little bit of time, maybe a shred of hope in the Deception camp, but I don't think it will surely be possible, and I think that Zulu rather will secure at least a draw, hadn't they? Very awkward there, still making the stop. Cynics bumps him away, buys Pulse time. Will slow it down though, he's going to take it towards net, goes for one touch, gets second. Is anyone there? Bonesy's there, he can't find the net though. Pulse follows it up, and it's only Pulse who can score for Zulu, it looks like.
Fortunately though, the streak is broken. Bonesy is the one assisting this time. Cynics cannot get the 5 and 5, and I think that's enough though. I don't think I've ever seen a 4 assisted goals for the same person in one game. Very impressive from the pair of them, and of course Pulse got another one on the board. 4 for 4 is rare. 5 goals from one player in general is rare, and Zulu are just hitting their mark time and time again here in Game 3. They were not satisfied with their Game 2 performance, and they're looking to put this series to bed and go into Game 4 with all of the confidence, all of the momentum that they possibly can.
Also shooting 5 for 6 in this game number 3. A huge performance from him. All 5 of the goals and about an 80% shooting percentage in this game. Love trying to find a goal back. Last 30 seconds. Goes to the middle. Bonesy just going to wave his foot a little bit. Just waiting to get the clear. But Hazard going to try and keep the pressure on maybe. Try and find just one goal for a bit of momentum coming into the last game. Anthony's there, shoots too high. Love there for the follow-up, sends it very high again. Cynics, no issues with that clear. And can he find a goal for himself? Instead of Pulse going to go for the redirect, can't find it. And the ball will not touch the ground yet. Love going to try and go for the goal. He gets the flick, but it's not in. Anthony can't find the net. And you think that is just a perfect comparison as to how Deception's game went just there.
Really, really struggling performance from them, down 1-5, and they cannot even get a consolation on the board. It has to hurt, it has to sting, but Zulu will be high flying after that performance, especially Pulse. We shouted him out before the series. We shouted him out in Game 1, and now he's topped all that up with an absolutely ridiculous performance. 5 goals to the good, all to his name, and Cynics assisting 4, Bonesy assisting 1. It's going to be a very hard task for Deception to pull off a comeback like they did in Game 2, because in Game 1, they were clearly still in it. In this Game 3, they looked for the most part down and out. Zulu were just on another level, Merits.
And with that, your prediction is wrong. Mine is on to be correct, that's all I'm going to say. I am a genius after all, but maybe Deception will pull... yeah. Maybe Deception will take the game for a win. That'll be the best case scenario for them. But with Zulu playing like they just have, I just don't see it happening, do you?
Does feel unlikely, but have to still believe, have to make them try and show my prediction wasn't completely out of order and show that they could have got a win here by at least scraping the draw in the end. But of course it is a clean slate. We've seen it before where one team can get a dominant win and the other team comes roaring back, but another question actually showing that it can happen again. Deception have to do it here. Game 4, Anthony's trying to lead it off within the first 10 seconds, but cannot push it through to the back of the net. Hazard will keep the attack alive for Deception, though. Bonesy should be able to get the clear, and then we go back into the red half. Almost the best start possible for Deception, but Zulu deal with it. Now Cynics is still looking for one of his own, but no, it goes away from the net once more. He's now 0-8 for goals and shots.
That was a lightning fast start from Deception, but Zulu almost immediately went down the other end, nearly got a goal to himself, but Cynics still cursed, not able to find that maiden goal in this series. Bonzi trying to find Pulse again, but it's only going to find Love. Cynics comes across, no contact with the ball, and there's the open net. Bonzi can't quite get there, and it's Deception opening the scoring after just about 50 seconds, Barman is down.
They do not let that early chance that didn't go in for Anthony get to them. Anthony's still going, still pushing, and will get the opener before the minute mark has passed. Anthony's clearly still the goal scorer for this Deception side. He's doing so much for them, and yeah, he's definitely overtaken Hazza in goals after this one. They'll be feeling like they can still make something from this, and especially looking at the table, there's still something to play for even within this series. Deception can tie it up with Temple in 9th and try and keep on pushing towards 6th place. Zulu are looking to get rid of their tie with Megaman, which they've already established, and go clean 3rd, so there's positions to be won for both teams in this final game here.
Zulu is the one chasing the lead, but this could be it. Bonzi, good shot. Anthony, they're making the stop where Hazza couldn't. Love down the other end now. Cynics prepared for that one. Anthony has time and space, but first touch not as he quite planned, and they'll just go back to his own half. Cynics good 50, can he get second touch? No, but he puts pressure on. Love gonna slow things down, but a very nice flick, and they can't quite follow up. Cynics now with possession, just gonna leave it for Pulse. Good touch, Hazza reads. 2 minutes gone in this one, and Zulu with the bulk of the pressure, but still no goals.
Turning into a little bit of Deception game 1 here, where they're out shooting, but failing to make the most of their chances. Here they come again. Bonzi this time topped by Hazza in the corner. He also gets it past Cynics, and Pulse. He started off this counter-attack for Anthony to finish off, but for the first time he's missed such an easy shot. That one goes a-begging. Deception are left to build up once more. Anthony's going to centre it off with the corner wall, but Bonzi is left in defence to deal with it. This one is flying high for Love, but he flies past it. And despite Anthony's demo, Pulse is left for the easy clear. Anthony's going to turn quickly on this one, though. Try and find Love. Hazza gets out of the way, and it goes all the way in. Bonzi cannot make the touch, and Deception are 2 goals to the good.
It's those physical plays returning from Deception and working wonders for them. 2 goals to the good with half the game gone. And despite not being on top in terms of pressure, they're on top quite convincingly in the scoreline. But that's a good kickoff for Zulu, but not finding the net. The clear not the most convincing one. Love and Anthony both making sure that that one was well away. Bonzi good touch on the backboard. Cynics backflips. Paul's gonna go for the second touch. He gets a second touch, not quite in. Cynics can't score. Can Bonzi? No. Hazza makes the save, and Zulu forced to rebuild the last 2 minutes for them to try and secure the series win, but Cynics can't get the double jumps. Just seems to be side flipping every time. That might be something to do with his, dead zones. Pulse trying to pass it down to one of his teammates. Anthony gets it away. Love takes it past the first one. Now Anthony in the 1v2 gets the good flick. Bonzi there. Bonzi makes a save. Hazza turns back, and now Zulu has the chance. Good 50 from Cynics, but no one there. Now it's over the top. Anthony going to try and go for the redirect. It's good. Love not there. Cynics gets it away, and it's last 90 seconds, and it's pretty much all Deception.
You can see it getting to the stage for Zulu where they have to throw that kitchen sink. There's going to be more chances for them opening up at the other end, but also for Deception at their own end. Anthony almost had one in the back of the net there, but Bonzi had a vital save. It's Zulu's first of this game 4. They have to be a little bit more solid at the back, but at this stage maybe have to just throw that away with 1 minute left and 2 goals chasing. Maybe you just have to keep on pushing that little bit more. No one looking for... No, okay, I lagged a little bit there, but Bonzi was the one with the shot. Hazza deals with it. Cynics has got another chance at centred, but Hazza once again gets another clear. Bonzi looking for the back pass to Pulse, but Hazza nips in between us off the post. Pulse is going to be there. He finds the top shelf. What a vital steal that is for Deception to put this game 4 to bed and leave Zulu with almost 0 chance of taking this game 4 win.
That wasn't a very good play from Bonzi, was it? Just sort of passed it back. No one was expecting it from Zulu. Cynics got a bit discombobulated as the last man, and just an open net, and it was converted by Deception. And now it seems like a very tall mountain to climb. This could be a 4th. Pulse is back, but bounce goes over him. Hazza's there, puts the game to bed, and it's a draw for Deception, surely.
For all of their pushing in this game for Zulu, could not find anything. And Deception have done so well to not lose their cool, to keep on going, even in this pressured stream environment, even when you're the underdog, and get this draw over the line. They're even going to look for a fifth. Anthony and Love looking for the pinch together. It will be off target, but they won't be caring too much. They'll be at least happy with the draw. They'll know that they could have done more, but the draw is good enough when you're going up against a team that's so much higher than you in the table. But Zulu will be beyond disappointed. Cynics will finally get a goal to his name. He will not go goalless in this series, but it's of little consolation at this point because they'll also know that they could have done better, that they give chances away to Deception, and they did not put chances away where they should have. It's a 2-2 draw, but Deception will be the happier one team of the two.
Yeah, for all their dominance in game 1 and 3, it was the even number games that will define their series. But this could be a second goal. Hold on, I might have a game, but Love will make sure that won't happen. Sonics gets back into the middle, maybe playing for goal difference, but it will be Deception tying with Tempo and Zulu staying tied with Megaman Cult. It will finish in a draw 2-2.
And, you know, I did say it before this one, Mertz. You also don't get your prediction because Deception bounced back. They saw what Zulu were doing and they knew that they could up their game even further as well and just prevent Zulu doing that because they were clearly... Deception were making mistakes to allow Zulu to do what they did in Game 3. Zulu were good, of course. They put their chances away, but Deception weren't playing at their best defensive level and they completely turned that around in Game 4. They threw themselves at balls and they very much deservedly get this draw for themselves. And as you say, they go tied 9th. They get a little bit closer to that 6th place. It's Embry at the moment sitting with 22 game wins. They're only 7 off, which is still a lot, especially this late, but it leaves them with the chances to go on and make sure that they're not out of it. Also, interestingly, that's their first draw of the season. They were the only team in this conference without a draw, so they've at least got one of those as well.
Yep. In the last 3 weeks, last 6 series now, every single win counts for all of these teams, no matter where you are in your respective conference. You know, that draw, you know, it allows Deception to push forward, but it holds Zulu back a little bit in their hunt for playoffs. But you never know what's going to happen in these final 3 weeks, do you?
So hard to call, both in individual series and, of course, as you say, in the overall outcomes. Every series matters in order to deciding what happens in those and who gets what placements going towards that league play. And yeah, definitely this is a blow for Zulu because, you know, the format is top 3, get that upper bracket. So that fight with Megaman Cult is looking like it's going to be quite important for the two of them to see who goes into the upper bracket, see who has to battle the way through the even longer section of the play-ins. But for Deception, at this point they'd be very happy with 6th. Anything further than that would be a bonus because they're definitely lurking at the bottom of this table. Even though they're tied with Temple, they still have that lower goal difference. Not sure what the head-to-head is between them, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which of them can make the most of this result and not get too downhearted. Also, just another note, it's Deception's first non-loss in quite a while. They got that win 4 series ago, but now they get a draw on the board to show that they're not just going to be a losing team and staying at the bottom here. They still have the will to go on and fight.
Yep, and next up in about 20 minutes time, we will be going up to the Master Tier to watch Radiant taking on Iovi. Both teams, I believe, in and around the fight for play-ins / playoffs. So you'll have to stick around to see how that one will go out. Go. Never mind.
suggest.
Oh man, you need some headphones, bro.
You know I suggest. You know I suggest.
We say our goodbyes and light up like fireflies. 'Cause there's so many things left to explore. I don't wanna hold you back. Your heart is safe with mine, and I can't find the words to keep you, but I don't think I want to. 'Cause we're living it up for love, living it up for love. Just keep living it up for love, living it up for love. Whatever is good for you, I'm good with it. I'm
scale 1 to 10, she 100. Gets everything that she wants in abundance. Knows how to be a lady in public, but she can get crazy. Ooh, I love it. She got a lot of weight in her luggage, and shorty ain't bluffing. She might snap on you like it's nothing. Everything I thought I knew is redundant.
Explosive temper, I hear smoke detectors. If I don't surrender, she might hold a lecture.
Every apology's a token gesture. I'm sorry, baby, I don't know no better. You get mad when I show no effort and turn the summer into a cold December. Cruise on the high road, dodging the potholes, tied up and I'm blindfold. She got me going psycho. I walk on a tightrope, my feet getting ice cold, my head spinning like a cyclone. She got me going psycho. Baby, I got CBD. Now we should kick back, pop in a DVD, yeah. Hold up, baby, we should keep the peace before one of us blows up like TNT. Let's go. I guess I'm crazy too. Not right in my mind, but I play it cool. A lot of emotions I convey are cruel, and my toxic traits are like deja vu. Ooh, that's the way I do. I'm a hot mess, face the truth. I don't mean everything I say to you, but I know that I got you going crazy too. Damn. Cruise on the high road, dodging the potholes, tied up and I'm blindfold. She got me going psycho. I walk on a tightrope, my feet getting ice cold, my head spinning like a cyclone. She got me going psycho.
Not rocket science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire, fire. Fires up the galaxy up in this. I'll be rolling like you like this. Not rocket science, cause I'm a whiz kid. Fire. On the night out, I'm on the high cloud. Shooting stars at the crowd. Sun's out. I'll be rolling, I like this. Not rocket science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire, fire. Fires up the galaxy up in this. I'll be rolling like this. Not rocket science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire, fire. I'm just a red dog in your. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I'll be rolling, I like this. I'll be rolling like this. I'll be rolling, I like this. I'll be rolling like this. I'll be rolling, I like this. Then I like this. I'll be rolling, I like this. I'll be rolling, I'll be rolling, I'll be rolling, I like this. Then I like this. On the night out, I'm on the night cloud, I'm on the high cloud. I'll be rolling, I like this. Not rocket science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire, fire. Fires up the galaxy up and down. I'll be rolling like this. Not rocket science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire, fire. Fires up the galaxy up and down.
I've been trying to fight the demons in my mind. I'll prevail with every battle if I'm right. Guess my aim was off, the target's out of sight. Would I be better if I left it all behind? 'Cause we could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way. We could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a Just take my hand. We'll leave this place behind. No second chance. I know there's more to find. 'Cause we could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way. We could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way. We could find a
Entombed in my mind, can't seem to break away. Lost in time, thinking about better days. Do you ever get used to the pain? 'Cause I don't know if I can do this again. Now you got me wondering why you let me die alone inside. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you. I cried for you. I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Tell me why you left me bleeding.
Say I'm good-hearted, but I'm just getting started. Got my eyes on the target. No, no. Till the battle's won, till kingdom come. I'll never run. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. They say I'm dangerous 'cause I broke all the cages. No, I won't sit and take it. No, no. It's the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second and penultimate game of this RSC11 stream. We're here in week 6 on Sunday. We've just had a draw in the elite tier, of course, between the illusory side Deception and Zulu from the Sherman Esports franchise. We're moving on to the master tier now. We have Radiant taking on IOV in a 7th versus 8th battle. Both teams aiming to improve their position and try and get into those top 6 spots to continue their season in those play-ins. And continuing on with me for tonight's stream is Merritt. So how are you feeling after that last one?
Close series back and forth, dominant win after dominant win, ended in a draw, and both teams now tied with the team ahead of them in their conference. But moving up to Master, as you said, 7th versus 8th, IOV 2 wins behind that Radiant team that we'll be seeing in action in just a couple of minutes. So it's going to be a very close affair.
Yeah, OV, of course, can catch up to Radiant with this one with a win, or even overtake them if they manage to get that sweep over the board. But Inferno is sitting pretty in 6th at the moment on 25. Neither of them can overtake. Radiant can only catch up if they are the ones to sweep. So they're both going to need this result and more as we go into the rest of the season. from these two. So this is going to be for them a kickoff point, because they definitely can't confirm anything from just this one series. Looking at the team stats, you can see why Radiant are above Iovy. They've got more goals, they've got more assists. They have less saves as usual, which usually goes towards the lower side, as they're the ones defending more, and Radiant have more shots and the better shooting percent, and even more demos. So all of the stats going towards Radiant pretty much, and yeah, they are the slightly better rated team, but of course it's going to be closer. But if we do consider that compared to the last one, which was meant to be a dominant series for Zulu, and it was a draw in the end, maybe this one's just going to be a sweep, Merits.
Especially if Iovy having to play with a free agent by the name of Pank to replace, I believe, Barissa, who can't make it. So maybe that'll tip the scales even more in the favour of Radiant. Both undefeated in their last two series though. Radiant taking down Wheel 3-1 and tying with Draugr, and Fearless Alpha tying to Iovy, and I believe also Wheel as well. So we'll have to see how that pans out.
Looking at player stats, most impressive thing to me that I was looking at was the shooting percent from two Radiant players, Asic and Miller, sitting at 39 and 38% respectively, and that's a very high percent. We saw no one from Elite with that sort of number in the last series, and generally the higher you go up the tiers, the harder it becomes to keep a consistent shooting percent. So the fact that they've managed to do that, and they're only sitting 7th in the table, is very impressive, and I'm expecting them to be deadly in front of goal. You know, both of them having at least a 1 goal per game record. They're going to be a trouble for Iovy to deal with.
And Pesky as that third man, playing 24 games, the same as Asic. Asic with a 15-9 record in the time that he's played. As you said, 25 goals, about a goal per game, 42 saves, 64 shots, and 40 demos. He's a very all-round player. He's strong in every aspect of play here for his team, so he's going to be definitely the man to watch out for, in my opinion.
Yeah, looking at Iovy, not only are they playing with an FA in the form of, let's see if I can get his name, I think his name was Pank they're playing with. They're also playing with Strafe, who has only played one series this season for Iovy. Of course, a wealth of experience previous seasons, but his only series so far has been a draw, and he didn't even score in it. So we're definitely looking for multiple players from this Iovy side of tonight to prove themselves against Radiant, who clearly have the stats to back up their names. And overall, the team stats going Radiant's way as well. It's going to be a hard one for Iovy to consider themselves the favourites, considering these numbers.
Strafe is also Iovy's sub, and Alanis will be the other main roster player for Iovy tonight. Played 28, 23 goals, 10 assists, 54 saves, so Alanis definitely more of a defensive player and will be the one to, you know, keep Iovy in it on that defensive end, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we're going to quickly throw a couple of predictions in here. I am going to continue with the logic I was mentioning earlier and say a sweep. I feel like it's safer to predict Radiant here, considering they're the higher placed team, the higher numbers, and they don't have to quickly get used to new rosters. So I'm going to go with the bold prediction of a 4-0 for Radiant. Which way are you going to swing, Merits?
I was going to go for the sweep as well, but I'll let you have that. I'll settle for the 3-1, you know, maybe give Iovy the benefit of the doubt of when the games, maybe they get an overtime win, or they just, you know, come out swinging in one of those games, catch Radiant off guard, but I think Radiant will come out on top either way.
Hopefully that will be the case. And as I tell the players to go, we are starting off here this series in DFH Stadium. I can never get the maps right, even though it's the same every time. They go over my head. Nonetheless, it will start. Strafe, Alanis, and Pank taking on Pesky, Asic, and Miller on the pitch here. Iovy versus Radiant. Radiant going to be the favourites, and just a little warning, we do have Pank playing under the name Inkeria Goat, so he's an unknown FA and even an unknown username, just to double down on the unknown factor today.
Yep, and it's a good start. Pank almost getting that one in straight away, but Asic will carry it away. Alanis good 50 over the goal mark. Pesky playing on the username P ? And getting the ball away, but Pank gonna try and take it back towards net, just gonna play the slow air dribble. Miller having none of it, plays it back to Strafe. Bit of back and forth start this game. Miller can't respond to that pass, since that's going to be Asic taking towards the middle. Pank, not able to get that 50. Strafe trying to get to the corner, but some very fast play from Radiant starts off.
definitely tell we're up to the master tier here as both teams playing at that upper level of the RSC draft tiers, and we'll have Radiant trying to launch another fast one onto the net, but ASIC was too far behind the ball to get a shot on, and ASIC gets the demo onto Alanis. We're back into the blue half, but Messi's got control, has ASIC to his left, he's going to find him, but Alanis jumps in the way. Miller's going to have a shot, is heading to the right hand of the net, but Pank is there with the stop, and definitely looking like he's going to be slotting into this side relatively comfortable.
Got no goals just yet, but chances on either end. Pank going to go for the double tap. ASIC takes that one away. Strafe, who was actually promoted from Elite not that long ago. Same with Pesky, so you know, both teams a little bit of storyline there, promoting players from the tier below. See Pesky trying to ask him to pass, does so only to the backboard, but Miller's there trying to put a shot on net, but Alanis with the very easy save, and Pank gonna go by himself, trying to get the shot away. Double commits there from Radiant, and IOV definitely playing a lot more organised than you would expect with playing someone you have no experience with.
Yeah, they are definitely offering problems for Radiant on both ends of the pitch. Pank with 2 saves and 2 shots, Alanis with their 3rd, and Radiant not looking like the dominant force that perhaps we were expecting them to be off of those stats. ASIC is going to get the block onto Alanis' 2nd attempt, but still 0-0, and there's some more info. Pank is 1795 CMV, so below all of Miller, ASIC and Alanis, but higher than Pesky and Strafe. He's pretty average CMV player, but he's looking like he might be star player for IOV, but hard to tell considering there's not been any goals scored yet.
Just over half the game, it's 2 shots to 4. IOV with more shots than Radiant, so they've had a lot more pressure, but from what I've noticed, it's Radiant who's been controlling most of the midfield. Alanis getting bumped there by Pesky, but their Pank coming across to stop it. ASIC not reading that one well. Strafe fumbles the shot and gives Pesky one of the easiest saves he'll ever have to make. Trying to get across the middle. Miller's there, can he get the redirect? No, Alanis gets it away, followed up by Strafe. Can he get another touch? He does. Pops it for Pank. ASIC just gonna slow the ball down so he couldn't do anything with it. Pank no boost, gonna delay his flip there, uses it at the last second, and now it's Radiant come down the other end. Just under 2 minutes left, still goalless.
Some more Radiant pressure. Pank's gonna take this one across net in comfortable fashion. Gets the clear out. Strafe's gonna chase it, gets the clean beat, and heads onto the backboard, but ASIC is sole player with a look onto the ball, and his push forward gets intercepted by Alanis. Pesky's gonna pick it up, but his attempt gets beaten away, and Miller's left with work to do to put it in the centre. Strafe's gonna get a clearance. ASIC's picked it up, leaves himself a bit of a chance, but it's shut down. Pesky's read this one wrong and has to switch across pitch. Picks up the next mid. He's still gonna look, perhaps go alone. He beats one, cannot get much behind the ball though, and Alanis will pick up the save. ASIC demos are out the way, but Strafe will find the clearance all the way back to the blue 3rd as Pank is setting one up here. He's past one, but Pesky makes sure he can't get anything on target. Both teams struggling to put real efforts on net. Both defenses seem set up, but Pank's got a chance one-on-one against Miller here, but again the defense comes out the better. It looks like we might be heading into 0-0 OT. ASIC's got a chance here against Pank though, and he just fakes him out. Pank flies past the ball, and just like it looked like it was going to be a dead rubber, Radiant grabbed the opener with less than 30 seconds to go.
The caster curse right there. You can't go saying things because the opposite will happen straight away, and that's what happened there. ASIC opening the scoring for Radiant. 27 seconds left for IOV to get one back. Yeah, I've been on top on the attacking end for most of this game, but Radiant is the one who converted when it mattered most. Pank, not the greatest setup, just gonna leave it for Alanis, but Alanis doesn't come through and double commit there from Radiant, but it won't matter. So the final 10 seconds, Pank gonna try and chase it, does get the boost. Strafe is gonna play it back for Alanis, gets bumped. Pank gonna hold it, 0 seconds, can they find something? Alanis shoots a bit wide. 0 second goal from Pank. Miller couldn't read the bounce, and what a way to start off the series than with a 0 second goal leading to an overtime.
Pank with the 3rd time lucky strike completes the 1-2 with Alanis. and they are right back in this game number 1. Radiant failed to snatch it at the death, and they're now straight back into this absolute battle between the two of these. They were very evenly ranked coming into this one. Radiant had the better numbers, but IOV are proving that even with the sub, even with the FA, they are still going to fight for this series and not let it be a dominant affair. Miller's got this one going central, but ASIC's too far away from the ball, and all 3 IOV players straight back behind the ball.
30 seconds gone in this overtime. That one's past Pesky. Miller is the last man. Panic, no second touch for him. Without Strafe going a little bit too high on that one. Alana's good 50. But it's Pesky going to go for the double tap. He has it free. Can he get the second touch? He does, but it's just a little bit too high. And now Panic, brilliant control on top of his guard. He's going to go for the bump, but he can't get it. Forces Miller to jump though. Strafe sends the corner. Pesky comes across to get that one away. Strafe leaves it for Alanis. Pesky sends it back to where it came from. Alana's going a little bit physical on the back line there. But Pesky all the way down the other end. Not getting the hit he wants there. Strafe sent away. Panic going to follow up. Miller nearly getting bumped there, but does get a hit. Alanis trying to get a second touch. No cigar there. ASIC trying to play it to himself, but can't. Panic trying to find someone out wide. He does find Strafe. It bounces up. He could have a shot on net. You're trying to go goal. ASIC predicts it. Still no goal in this overtime.
Maybe looking to get these passing plays in. That one didn't work out so well. Trish has picked this one up and he's battling his way through, but Pesky is the man in the way. Alana's going to look for one off the corner wall, but ASIC well placed to deny any opportunity for Strafe. Pank is controlling this one. He's beaten Miller. He's got it on target. It's over Pesky! And Pank grabs his brace, and with it, he grabs IOV game number 1.
The FA sub looks as if he's been in that team for weeks, the way he's slotted in and won IOV game number 1. An MVP performance from Pank. Strafe and Alanis obviously done their bit just as much to take that game 1. 697 points for Pank. Incredible performance from him, and he takes game number 1 as a reward.
Yeah, he looked the strongest of the 3 at the start with 2 saves and 2 shots. He was firing chances on early, and he kept on going. Got a 0-second goal with the third shot with Alanis with that setup, and then carried on going, beats the man, and then slots it over Pesky in the net for the winner. Pank clearly the MVP, both in points and from any other way you could mark it, as Radiant were perhaps better at times throughout game 1, but IOV are the ones to take the W in the end, and already my 4-0 sweep is off the table.
Yep, 0 for 2. It's not been the greatest day for you in terms of predictions, but you know, mine might still be on if Radiant can, you know, find that game win. They found the opening goal so late on, but they sort of let IOV back into it almost just on 0 seconds, gave them too much space to operate, and they got to the overtime and eventually went on to win it. But game 2 into Forbidden Temple, maybe Radiant will finally be able to close out one of these games.
Yeah, no doubts about what map this is. Clearly Forbidden Temple, and Radiant will be hoping it's clearly the comeback win for them as they let their 1-0 lead game 1 slip. Will IOV let their series lead slip? Radiant are going to start off better. Pank! Oh my god, it's not in yet! He somehow saves it for being an own goal, but ASIC comes straight back in and makes sure that this one is dead and buried 11 seconds in, and Radiant in the end do in fact lead.
Not quite sure what happened there, I'll be honest with you. Pank nearly puts it into his own net. He has finally changed his name back, which is good. But it was not good play from IOV there. ASIC opens the scoring after just 11 seconds. He will get demoed off the kickoff, but Miller changing his decal there. Still in the octane, gets it away. Alanis a bit too high of the shot. ASIC is there. Can he find the second touch? But no, it will be Pank beaten in the 50. Alanis comes across to cover it. Sent to the corner. Strafe a little bit too far out to get in from that one. He does make the stop from Pesky's shot though, and is Radiant still on top even after that first goal, and it's just IOV not been able to find anything so far.
Be looking for another double. Had a couple opportunities in the last game and he didn't manage to put them away, which will of course be regretting, although of course you never mean to get one off target. Alanis is going to boom this one off her own backboard, and Radiant are still keeping control of this one. Azek's looking for a second! And after they threw away their 1-goal lead last time, they got their 1-goal lead much earlier here, and they kept on pushing. They now have 2, and they'll be going to need to get themselves back in this very, very quickly, because Radiant putting on the pressure, and Azek is feeling like he's put on his shooting boots now.
Yep, a much better start from Radiant, looking a lot more cohesive, you know, less double commits than we saw in that game number 1, which is quite a prominent issue for them. See Pesky going to go and one, he gets it past Alanis, and go for the flip reset, not good getting it. Hank will get the clear, but Azek is back in the middle, Strafe can't get the clear, and that's going to be a third, in just under a minute and a half. Hank, the clear wasn't quite good enough, Azek was in the middle, Strafe not reading it properly, and Miller gets it into the back of the net to make it 3-0.
How touted their shooting percent at the start of this series. Now Azek and Miller are proving it. 3 goals, 3 shots from the pair of them, 100% shooting accuracy, and now Pesky's looking to get on the board. Feels yet another double, but it sets it up for Miller, and he scores his second with the second shot as well. They're all going for it. They're all making opportunities happen. The Hovi are looking down and out already. We're barely a minute and a half in.
2 goals for Miller, 2 goals for Azek, and 1 assist for every single member of that team. It's a brilliant team performance so far. In just a minute and a half gone, already 4 goals to the good, and it looks like the game might already be in the book, but I'm not going to speak too early, because here comes Iovi, but that shot not going to do anything. Now it's going to come off Miller, and Azek's just going to make sure it rolls in, and Iovi have 1 back somehow.
Riff just makes things happen. Completely takes it away from Miller. No one from Radiant was expecting that to come through quite so quickly. Miller had barely gotten out of his own box, never mind half, and it's a great shutdown from Strafe to make sure that Iovi are still going to be in this one. 3 goals, still a lot more durable than 2, and than 4, even 2 is more durable than 3, as Alanis is trying to fix my wording for me there. Hank with the setup, and neither Miller or Pesky could reach it in time. It's back to a 2-goal game, and there's still loads of time to play for Iovi to make this comeback happen.
I have spoken to early about this game nearly being in the books. Iovi clearly on a mission to prove me wrong, but that could be a 5th. It is a 5th. Radiant, they concede 2, but they'll score 1 straight after, so it's all good. Azek securing the hat-trick for himself. 2 minutes gone even, already 7 goals.
We had to wait 4.5 minutes for 1 goal last game, and already we have 7 on the board. As you say, it's an all-out shooting affair between the 2 of them, but it's not as if we've had that many more shots. It's been very accurate from both teams, making the most of the chances where they come, and it's that sort of game, and Radiant are building as many chances as they are. They're scoring seemingly all of them. It's leaving Iovi 3 goals behind. It might be another one here. Azek this time will be stopped. He loses his 100% accuracy for this game, and Iovi will look to build it straight back the other way. 3 goals still doable in the second half of this game too, and certainly looking to make the most of the time they have here. Alanis central. No one was expecting it to come through though, and Radiant clear it straight back the other way. Azek's going to be waiting here on the right for Pesky's pass. It's going to drop down. No one got a touch, but luckily Strafe rescues it off the line and pushes Radiant at least back to the halfway line. Miller keeps it alive though. 1 fake, not 2. It's going to come out for Pesky. They're just keeping time on this halfway line, keeping the rotation in and keeping Iovi locked into their own box. They're wanting yet another chance off of it. Miller looking for the slow play, just not get the mind game around Pank though, and still Iovi are locked in.
They have so much control over the bush, it means they can play however slow or fast they want, and Iovi really have no control of that. See, Azek never slow play, gets it past 2. Pank a little bit awkward, just going to pop it up. Pesky's going to take it away though, and that bounce is going to be a little bit awkward. Miller finds the shot, it's just a little too high, and gets it away. 312 points to him, a minute 45 left. Miller trying to get back into the middle. Alanis trying to take it away. Azek still there, just being a bit of a nuisance. Alanis just gonna bump Azek out the way though. Pesky, can he get double tap? No, he can. Pank gets the clear, and Azek gonna go infield to Miller. The third pass not quite there. Alanis intercepts. Nice Strafe, gonna try and take his time, gets it past Pesky. He has boost in time. Miller can get the pull and it's an open net. Azek nowhere to be found. And all of a sudden, this game looks a lot closer than once anticipated.
This is exactly what Iovi wanted. They held on for dear life at that 3-goal scoreline. They did not let Radiant score again, and definitely doesn't look like they have 100% anymore. They bring it up the other end and score with pretty much their first attack since Radiant regained the 3-goal lead. Brilliant chance creation from Strafe, and of course chance finishing. Pank's now going to look for their fourth, try and make this back to a 1-goal game. This time Miller gets in the way, and the Radiant are determined to not let this one slip away. They had a 4-goal lead, they had a 3-goal lead, now it's back to 2. They've got a minute left to hold on to it. No one's on the end of this one, and Iovi are going to push again, but they get shut down. Strafe gets demoed. It's going to be a chance for Millie here to nip in, but Alanis is ready to deal with it. Strafe gets the clear away. Now Pank can look for the counter. Pesky's looking pretty lonesome back in defense. Pank's going to get it round him, but it's up high, meaning that Radiant are going to have some time to get back, and Miller gets the clearance. Asic will follow it up. Radiant trying to defend as a 3 and make sure that they lock down this game number 2.
They look a little bit nervy in those last 30 seconds or so. Here comes Pank. Flip reset. Alana's going to try and forward. That one's going to bounce well over that goal. Now Pesky up first to it, and Pank should have enough time to make the stop, but can he get down there around Asic? Trying to set up for Miller, but Alana's not able to make contact with it. Last 10 seconds, a goal now or no goal at all. Pank's going to get the goal. 6 seconds to go. We have a 1-goal game. Barmanitan, will the comeback succeed?
I thought they were down and out. They just could not put away another chance, but that defense at 5-2 is looking all the more important now as they have their chance with 6 seconds left. All 3 of them are on the board. Can they make it count? They lose the kickoff though. They're going to have to go the whole pitch if they are to do this, but Miller sends it to the ground. They deny any chance for Iovi. They somehow still hold on to this lead that they'd had from the start, and it's heartbreak from Iovi for Iovi at the end. They just could not quite make it happen. They were so close, but Radiant somehow shut it down and keep their blushes from appearing, because that could have been a very embarrassing one in the end, as they definitely let Iovi back into that one.
It was a nervy start on the end of Iovi and a very nervy end for Radiant. They might be a bit shook up about how close that comeback was from coming to fruition, but they're incredibly good at scoring goals, putting 13 shots on net throughout that game number 2 and scoring 5. Asic with the hat-trick. Pesky not being the only one not to actually score in that game. And it was an incredibly close one in the end. It looks like it's going to be Radiant up until those final sort of minute or so where Iovi really started to come back into it. And they were ever so close for Amanasan.
And I think they'll still have confidence here, because as much as we talk about how well Radiant did there, they scored the 5 from the first 6 shots, and then they didn't score any of their next 7. Iovi really did lock down the defense to make that as tight as it was at the end. So Radiant have fallen off just that little bit since the first half of game 2. So Iovi are going to be probably the more dominant, the team with more momentum going into this one, despite losing that last game. So Radiant have got to be quick off the mark here to get back to the form that they were experiencing and not let Iovi keep on scoring as they were doing at the end of game 2.
Yeah, but game 3 is a fresh start. Already some pressure from Radiant, but Pank going to take it away. Just using his dodge to get a wave dash there. And it's all in the orange side. See Alanis now switching to the Octane as opposed to the Fennec that she was using in games 1 and 2. Miller going to scrum to that one. Can get the second touch? No. Could be a bit nervy, but Asic will get the clear. Pank try and take his time, but the touch isn't what he wanted. Pest going to try and go whoa, double commit. Asic can't put on net. Cleared away. Pank in a 1v1. He has ball on top of his car. Going to try and go for the bump, but Miller had it all under control. And they will be starting a little bit lackluster as opposed to Radiant, but we'll never know what's going to happen in the rest of this game.
Still 0-0, and as long as that is the case, doesn't matter too much what your start is doing as long as you can get back on your feet and not let the other team start amassing goals, as Radiant did in the last game. Iovi were just not strong enough in that opening, and 4 goals in the end was too much to overcome, so they have to keep fighting here while it's still a neutral position and not put themselves in a position where they have to find 4 goals or they have to find a 3-goal comeback, because it was just too much in the end. So got to make sure they make the most of this 0-0 while they are the lower team. Pank's going to find this redirect off of Alanis' pass, but relatively tame effort for Miller to deal with. Miller does not find this follow-up though, and Strafe can take it right back. Bit of a weak shot though, has to look for the dunk onto Asic, which he does not find, and Alanis is forced back their own half. Miller's going to pick up this one. Has to look, will not look for the dunk on Pank, deemed it too risky, and instead they all go back looking to build behind the ball. Pesky cannot beat this one off of Lannis, but Miller's got a double round 2. Pank is the saviour on the goal line, once again proving why this is not just any ordinary FA sub. He's done bits all across the pitch for Iobi all throughout this series, and once again keeping them in it. Lannis cannot get round Asic this time, but Asic will keep it alive. Pank has to control, gets it round Pesky, but Miller sets up for some more Radiant offensive action, misses a double off the sidewall.
Half the game gone, there's not been many chances for either team, but when those chances have come, they have come incredibly close to hit the back of the net. Radiant trying to come down that orange side again. Asic just going to take it away from Miller to get on the end of the double tap, not the best. Stray puts it towards net, Pesky takes it away, lands the lead for Pank. Miller can't get the read, Asic forced to make the stop. Pesky trying to find Miller, but can't get any of that pass. Still no goals yet, but Iobi going to try and come down the pitch again. It's going to be left for Strafe, 67 boost, going to use all of it again across. The pinch comes through. It's not the greatest, but Asic can't get the read.
No drop. That's
double. Can't get the read. Pesky gets it away in the end. Last 2 minutes on the clock in game 3. Double commit there from Radiant, but Asic going to go. Pank gets the stop, but it's going to go back across the goal line for Lannis, somehow making that last ditch save, and Iobi hang on.
Still, Pesky can't get on the board. He's pulling the cynics of last series as he's got plenty of shots to his name, but can't get one over the line as Alana stopped another one there. Brilliant save from her, but if we flash back, I definitely think Pank should have put that one away. It dropped down. It was pretty much an open net, but he just misread the flight of the ball and flew on by as Radiant got that clear for the Pesky chance at the other end. Now we're back in to end-to-end to midfield action. I don't know what it is, but haven't been any more chances until now. Pesky flashes one off the post and he still cannot get this goal that he so desperately craves. He might have to also, like Cynics, wait until game 4 for his moment, because this is yet another 0-0 for so long, but this time we don't have to wait till the last 30 seconds. We get one on 56. Strafe finds the opener of game 3, takes it away from Pesky. Neither are Miller or Asic are in net to deal with it, and Iobi are back into the lead.
Struck that so cleanly, just bounced over Miller's head and went perfectly into the bottom left hand corner. And now just 50 seconds for Radiant to keep their chances of winning this series alive, and my prediction alive, more importantly. Miller trying to go towards the net, Pank gets it away, Asic back into the middle, Lannis backflip, and Pank can't get there. Miller gets the goal after so many shots, and it's a tied game with 40 seconds to go.
No one was quite back post enough for that one. Asic ends up getting the perfect assist for Miller to bury into the net. And after Iobi had the first lead of the series, other than their overtime win, that was the first time they'd had to hold on to a lead. They threw it away almost instantly. As Radiant are straight back into game 3. We've now got 30 seconds left. We're back into this stalemate. Can they do team make it happen in regulation, or are we going to head to another OT? This one might be a chance, but it's cleared away. Asic forced back into his own corner, but Alanis will give chase. Gets the pinch into the middle with 0 boost. Asic gets no touch, but Miller is there. Alanis has no boost to work with, means that Strafe's chase onto Miller isn't going to work. It's going towards net, but Pank gets the clearance away. Now Pesky looking for a double central. Asic's there. Alanis gets the clearance away. Surely we are heading to OT, Mertz, but oh my word, what an exciting, what an enthralling game 3 this is turning out to be.
But yeah, Miller's boost, the flick just a little bit wide. Pesky's there back into the middle. Gonna leave for Asic.
Surely not.
He just wants
What?
overtime in game 3. This is coming down to the wire. Who will win it? Iobi or Radiant? Pesky with the first chance of the overtime, but Strafe gonna hang on to that one. Miller a little bit above that challenge. Strafe gets a good 58 to the middle. Alanis has the shot, can get the flick. It's goes under. Iobi secure the draw.
They do not let Radiant grab the comeback. Alanis barrels it through the whole Radiant defense. And Iobi are back into the lead in the series. So close to letting that one slip away, but they managed to keep their heads on and do not let the overtime go Radiant's way. Iobi 2-1 in game 3 and 2-1 now in the series.
Yeah, but very close game 3 there. Pank, another MVP performance, no goals but 3 saves, really kept Iobi in that game. but it was ASIC so close in 0 seconds, couldn't find the net with that shot, and he went 0 for 5 this game. Definitely a stark contrast to the sharpshooter he was in that game 2 rather.
Yeah, that ASIC chance, he'll be so gutted about that one, because it looked like the stars were aligning for yet another 0-second goal in this series, but it just was not to be. It clatters off of the post and the crossbar and hits the ground, and IOV take it away from them in OT. Radiant are going to have to do a lot here to make sure that they are now the ones to keep their heads on and not let this series go completely IOV's way, because there's still another game here. We have to get straight back into the action, because it doesn't matter what's happened previously. Every game in RSC is worth another point on the leaderboard, and this one will still be as important as the last, because IOV, if they win this last game, they could tie Radiant in the table and boost their chances to be the ones to grab one of those 6 play-in spots.
First, like you said, it's going to come down to game 4 to see what will happen at the standings. ASIC going to try and start early, gets it past Alanis, but Alanis making that last ditch save. ASIC goes back into the middle, but Pank can be the one responding to it. The clear not good enough. Strafe comes across Miller, try and play it slow. The back foot flip, that was very nice work there from Miller. 18 seconds gone and the scoring has already started.
Completely baffles Alanis, who was already up trying to defend, but did not expect Miller to go that way with the shot. ASIC's 50 to set it up. Give Miller that space was good as well, but definitely looking at Miller, a great slot away there. Past everyone in IOV's defense, they were pretty much all there defending, but Alanis has gone for the ball, and just none of them expected Miller to be able to slot it from that sort of angle. Very impressive to get Radiant the lead, and perhaps back into this series. He's going to have another one to chase here, but Strafe's going to take it away from him.
Pank going to try and get IOV back in this one, but the chance doesn't really come to anything, but Strafe can keep it alive, can't get the second touch. But Pesky, the clear, not good enough. Pank, not good enough. Alanis goes up. Miller with the absolute clutch save on the back line, and now he's going to come down the other end. Not sure how much boost he has, but he's going to do it all himself anyway, and gets the second goal. 2 shots, 2 goals for Miller.
Miller popping off in the first minute of game 4. Pank did not score the open net, put it on the crossbar. Miller took full advantage, got the in and out save, goes down the full length of the pitch and grabs the second, grabs his brace here, and perhaps pulling Radiant back into this one by the scruff of their neck. He's doing the work, getting the goals, and IOV now forced back into yet another position where they need a comeback. They almost did it when they were 4 behind in game 2. Surely they can still make something of this game 4 while they're only 2 behind.
Yeah, and it's going to be IOV trying to create a chance for themselves, but ASIC going to collect it. It's a good hit from Strafe there. Pank is there, and it's 1 goal back. Still 3 minutes 30 on the clock, so more than enough time for a comeback to be made. And it was Pank there to capitalise on that good 50 from Strafe.
Pank misread it. Waterfall from the curve of the ceiling previously. This time he makes no such mistake. And he also doesn't hit the crossbar like he did earlier in this one. Good for him to keep himself in this game and keep on finding those chances. Scores with his first eventual shot of the whole game. And yeah, definitely still going to be a close affair. No 4-goal lead for Radiant this time, but they are looking to re-establish a 2-goal lead. Alanis is in the way of Miller here, though. No hat-trick for him just yet. Now Strafe is going to take this one from Pank. He's got no boost, though, and that means Pesky's going to look for the clear. He's still the only player on the pitch without a goal this series, Pesky. He's going to be looking to provide something for Radiant and prevent any IOV comeback. He gets in the way of Pank here, and maybe he'll just have to settle for defensive involvement instead, because in the end, that is all Radiant need here. They don't need to score more, they just need to make sure IOV cannot get themselves back in the game, but definitely easier said than done.
In the last minute or so since the goal, it's certainly been all IOV, certainly in the midfield side things, not really converting any of this pressure into shots, but there's to be a chance. Miller with the pre-jump, but Strafe being beat to that one. Alanis going to take over, just going to have time and space, gets it past Pesky. ASIC gets the clear off the backboard, and Miller will send it away. ASIC beats Strafe. It's actually going to hit off Strafe's car and will be sent bouncing further towards the orange net. Now is Radiant a little bit of pressure. 2 minutes left. Radiant ahead by 1. Pesky. A little bit of a risky back pass. ASIC going to invite a bit of pressure. Miller cleared to the corner. Strafe still on it. Gets a back pass. Alanis getting a hit back to the corner. No chances just yet for Iovi.
I'm trying to battle for this one against Pesky. Has to fall back on Strafe instead. So still looking for a way back into game 4. Miller, it's another save to his name. Not sure that one was on target though. ASIC with the big clearance, and it's really what they're going to be looking for. Plenty of big clearances down the pitch, more time off the clock, and another one from Pesky all the way back into the red territory. Miller's even going to keep this one alive, but Strafe is there on the backboard to deal with it. ASIC's backwards here, and it's a settle for the backboard, but that's a good clearance from Strafe. No one's going to be able to chase it in time though, and Miller's left with loads of space to just take it away. In the end, doesn't do much with it though, and Alanis is going to push one to the backboard. ASIC a little bit awkward, but takes his time, gets it away from Strafe, and even forces Pank to go further back, expertly taking his time here. Radiant look calm and collected going into the final minute of game 4, and they do not want to let this one slip away. Miller is going to once again fail to find his hat-trick. Strafe was in the way this time, and now he takes it away from ASIC as well. Iovi making sure that they don't lose this game in their own half. They're going to look to try and win it in the blue half, but still there's no way through for them.
30 seconds, Strike gets it past one. Alanis, not in position to receive that one. It's just going to go over their heads. Pesky going to try and get the second touch. He does. ASIC's there, shot just out that a little bit wide. Last 30 seconds, Miller trying to get over. Alanis does. Miller going to play it back to Pesky. Just goes a little bit wide, but it's going to take some more seconds of the clock. ASIC demonstrate from space over Pesky. Miller comes across to Alanis. Gonna go by herself. Gonna go flip reset, but no boost in the tank to do so. Pank gonna go for the second touch. Strafe there. Can he put it towards next?
Strafe all the way! Oh my god!
5 seconds to go. Iovi tie the game. And against all odds, they might actually go on to win the series with an FA sub and their sub player playing.
There is never a dull moment, both in the series and just in general RSC. This has been absolute mayhem from start to finish, and Strafe not even capping it off, because that goal just sends us to OT. Brilliant strike from the Turkishman, and he gets his team battling back into OT. There will be no easy win here for Radiant Game 4. They're going to have to fight until the last, as Iovi have pushed them back one step further. They will not get their draw here. It's going to be a chance, but taken away. Alanis is now chasing down. He can't quite make the most of the open net. She's almost looking for the 50 from Pesky though. Pesky wins it out in the end and forces it all the way back. It's going to be an end-to-end OT here in game 4, but one team's going to have to come out on top eventually. I just cannot wait to see who it's going to be. Pesky looking to finally get on the board, but he flies past the ball once more. He's still got a chance though. Pank's going to get in his way this time though. And oh my word, it just never settles down.
Third overtime from 4 games. Pesky can get the goal. Strafe last ditch defending, but still Radiant with the pressure, trying to secure this draw. And obviously Iovi gunning for the win against the odds. Pesky trying to find the net, but can't. Alanis beats out. ASIC pass infield. Pank's there. He has the shot, but it's just at Miller's near side, and the save comes easily enough. A minute gone in overtime. ASIC with another save. Alanis can't beat Pesky now. Chance could be made, but Pank sending it away. Miller trying to take a composed touch, but the pressure was too much, so you sub him away. Pank gonna go low, gets it past ASIC. Miller doesn't always boost to get that one away, and Alanis can't fair anything from that, and it's still no goal in this overtime. A minute 30 gone.
Oh, Strafe had an angle there, but ASIC was in the way before it even got close to the net. Both teams looking to shut down opportunities before they get dangerous. It's proving to be a very, very tense overtime indeed. Alanis is now in control of the ball. ASIC's there, but it's one out for Strafe to launch something on the net. Any chance they'll take at the moment. This one's looking to go towards the blue back line, but it was off target. In the end, Miller now pushes it back towards the Iovi box. Strafe flicks it away from ASIC, but ASIC still stays on the play. Now Alanis flies past it. Pank is last player. It's a bit of an awkward 50, but still enough to prevent Pesky from doing anything. Miller gets the flip reset. It's going to be over Alanis, but Strafe takes his time behind his teammate and make sure there's no more chance from that play. ASIC's just going to push this one to the net. That one was dangerous, but 2 players were on the goal line, and Pank eventually gets it away. 6 saves now for Iovi to Radiant 7. It's been a game that's been won at both ends. The offense had to shine, the defense has had to shine, but still there's no winner yet. Pesky set this one up for ASIC. It's flying towards the top corner, but Alanis cuts it off. And still, we are left without a winner. ASIC's going to drop this one off of the curve. Pesky's going to be there. Can he finally do it? No, he can't. It was off the crossbar. Pank makes sure it's not going in anyway, but still, it's blue. Chances Miller for ASIC. Alanis denies yet again. This is still crazy. It's floating atop of the goal line, but Alanis gets yet another clearance. It's just not going in for Radiant at the moment. They have had so many chances in the last minute, but Iovi once again show that they can hold firm in the back line and deny absolutely everything.
Game could have been over so many times in the last 3 minutes, but still we go on. Miller in the air trying to carry it as far as he can. Gets 50 on Pank. ASIC there to follow up, but Pank bruting his way for the challenge. Alanis is towards net. Not strong enough. Pesky makes the save. It's going to be left for Pank. ASIC challenges quickly, trying to get down the other end as quick as he can. Gets the pre-flip. It's going to just bounce up though. Not quite what he was wanting. Past Miller. Pesky boost and time trying to get the second touch. He does, but not as far as towards net as he would have wanted. ASIC trying to get it past one, does so, but Pank gets it away, and just so back and forth. Almost 4 minutes gone. Nearly 2 games Rock we've played. Down to the float across the middle. Strafe gonna try and take his time. Pesky get 50. Miller there to follow up, trying to fake out. Pank can't do so. Now Pesky in disguise. Alanis can get the clear even. It's still 4 minutes gone. No goal for Manassan.
Into the 5th minute we go, Merits, and it's still as tight as ever. Pesky's going to make sure Strafe doesn't have a double opportunity here, but can't get rid of the danger. ASIC does so, but only temporarily. Alanis is there, but Miller with the pre-flip save to deny yet another chance. Both teams are well past 10 shots at this stage, and there's still absolutely nothing for them. Pesky is going to take this one away as Alanis was lurking. Gets bumped out of the play. Strafe pushes it back towards net. Miller's going to be the last player, but does what he needed to do. Now ASIC pushes it away. No one's really there. Pesky gets it down onto Alanis, and that's it. It's just straight in. Alanis cannot get any saves on the back line if she's not in the play, and Pesky makes sure that is the case. Eliminates her, and finally, Merits, finally, he has his name on the board, and it's to take all the glory for Radiant in the end as they somehow scrape a draw over the line.
What a game there. Almost 10 minutes of Rock League in the one game. So many points across the board. Pank 703, ASIC 640, Strafe 628. It was just so high intensity the whole time. And it's Radiant who managed to come up with a draw. I feel like they kind of deserved it after so many close games, and especially the overtime, the closest of them all. They could have come out of a win had other games gone their way. The same could be said about Iovi. That's just how close that series was.
It feels like a lifetime ago that Strafe got that goal on 5 seconds left to take us into that OT, and it feels like 2 lifetimes ago since we had the 0-second goal in Game 1. It's been an absolute barnstormer of a series. There were chances left, right and centre. Absolutely incredible saves following pretty much each and every one. I'm so glad to have been able to see this one in the Master Tier, and in the end, it's all odds even between the two of them, as it was in the previous, and neither of them have shown a clear advantage between the two of them. They're both still remaining chasing Inferno in that 6th place. Radiant 2 afloat now, and Iovi are 4. They're still going to have chances to catch up, but they're running out of time. I'm sure both will be very disappointed that they did not get the 3 wins here, or even 4, because 2 might not be enough in the end. Inferno and Abyss could very much shut down those last 2 spots for them.
I think Iovi would be very happy with that result, having to find an FA last second and playing with their sub. So to steal a draw out of that and nearly, clinch that win, more than good enough for that series. Coming into it on paper, they looked up against it, but they proved their worth. Pank proving his worth as a free agent. Maybe teams will be looking to him as the player they maybe need to, fill in their roster. Like 1 week left until roster lock, so it's going to be a lot closer in these final 3 weeks.
However, that will bring to a close the second draw of the night. That's going to be me and Merits done on the broadcast here for you, as we go in to the next series, still remaining in Master with Dogon versus Severance. Tom Dillon and Moray Sky will be your casters for that one. Make sure you check it out. There's going to be loads more RSC action in the final series of the night, so join us back in about 10 minutes for your third series. Goodbye.
Anything to step away. I know we could both do better. Wish you would've left me here. Now I'm just controlled by fear. What's the point in our reflection if you never look in the mirror? Counting the days until you're gone, waiting for us to carry on. Oh, I'm running, what am I running from? Time's going by, but where's the time going? I tried to give you everything. You took it all and took it for granted. If you're still falling out of love, maybe it's 'cause it's not enough. Setting fire to my brain, wondering how I'm to blame. You're the one who doesn't dream, so why are you always sleeping? I remember when you said you're afraid of what's ahead. What happened to ride or die? I asked and you just start crying. How are you acting so surprised? Haven't you seen it in my eyes? Oh, I'm running, what am I running from? Time's going by, but where's the time going? I tried to give you everything. You took it all and took it for granted. If you're still falling out of love, maybe it's 'cause I'm not enough. Maybe it's not enough, baby. I don't wanna lose you after all that we've been through. If you could change my mind, I would do it in a heartbeat. That's if you really love me. I would do it in a heartbeat. That's if you really love me. I would do it in a heartbeat. That's if you really love me. We used to be solid, not falling apart. Things never not okay when you were mine. You used to be honest, not pulling my heartstrings. Every other day you change your mind. 'Cause when you're high, you call me like I'm lonely. Some kind of little toy for you to wind up when you land in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed like that. Getting busier and busier, so disorientated. First you want me, then you're busy. Girl, it's not that complicated. Got me me on loop. I used to respect you, thought I was enough. Yeah, feels like half a century ago. Cause you keep coming back after telling me off, without even feeling sorry between goodbye and hello again. Thought we could grow again, how about no again, again and again. I'm trying to tell you we can't be friends, struggling to comprehend that we broke up and ended again and again and again. And I'm getting busier and busier, so disorientated. First you want me, then you're busy, girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a leash and round and round. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck in like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck in like glue. You keep me on loop. Yeah, when you're high, you call me like I'm lonely. Some kind of little toy for you to wind up when you're lying in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed like all I am to you is a pet. You think you own me? I'm nothing but a boy for you to wind up when you wanna pretend to get to know me. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on loop. Got me running in a circle.
look left, look right. And I come with a hook right. Hook right, hook right. This what the angles look like. Way up, stood high. Taking the view when it look right. And oh, it's the good life. Whipping the sauce when I cook like. Look left, look right, yeah, yeah. Come with a hook right. Hook right, hook right, hook right. Make all the man them look twice. I'm way up, stood high. But I've been in the field like Suge Knight. And they know this took time. This what a legacy look like. This what a come with a hook right. And I come with a hook right. And I come with a hook right. And I come with a come with a and I come with a hook right. And I come with a hook right. And I come with a hook right. And I come with a come with a
Good evening, welcome back. It is Sunday night, and of course, this is the final series of the night. Thank you to Bon Manhattan and Merritt for passing it over, and replacing them is myself, Moray Sky, and of course, it just seems like it just had to be. You know, we've been casting for quite a while now together, and you know, why not finish off the week? It's my good buddy here, Tom Dillon. How's it going, Tom?
Well, it's going very well actually. I'm glad to be back commentating with you again, Moray Sky. It's like they don't separate us at the minute. It's gonna be weird going back to commentating with someone else. I'll tell you that. But always get excited for a Master Series game. These guys are incredible players. It's always very, very fun to watch them play.
It is indeed, and this one is set to be an absolutely. This is going to be a really good game to watch. Really tough. I mean, these two teams on paper, Dogon versus Severance, and they are battling to try and edge their way ever so closer to the top of the table in the Master Division, of course. And you know, these two teams, they're putting in a good season at the moment, and they are so close, just a couple of wins away from claiming that second spot off Haven, or even leapfrogging Infinity. So both of them are going to be itching to put in a good performance and get some wins under their belt. But Tom, the schedule so far tonight has been 2-2 draws. So I mean, stats wise, this is sort of lining up for me personally. This is lining up for another 2-2 draw, unless you have any other inkling that it might go a different way.
I mean, a 2-2 draw will probably be a fair result between these two teams. As you can see here, the wins and the losses column pretty much, well, they're very similar. They're not quite the same, are they, with the teams 4th and 6th? But it does seem like a game that has got everything about a 2-2 draw about it. So I'm very concerned that may be the case. But I think, to be honest with you, if I had to question who's going to edge it, I think Dojon will probably be more up for this clash, as if they've got that second place just slightly looming if they're able to get a win today.
Indeed, and they've definitely got some players to look out for as well. In particular, Captain Quark. I mean, I don't know if that is a Star Trek reference or not, but you got to love the lane nonetheless. I mean, he's been putting in an absolute. He's definitely for me to want to look out for on the Dogon side. But then equally, I mean, you look over onto the other team, and another name that stands out for me is Harvey. I mean, again, the goals between both of these players for each team, they've been sort of leading the front line, if you like. And certainly, if one of them can step up and put in a performance tonight, then you got to think they are the ones to watch out for. You know, just taking a quick look at the stats there. But I mean, any stats in particular for you that sort of stand out, Tom?
No, I think you've covered it there with Quark and Harvey definitely being the men leading the line for their teams. They're the only ones who've played every series so far for their two teams. Then in terms of Dojon, they've got a much more inexperienced lineup in terms of 18 games played for Blizzy, 22 for average, and only the 8 for Flow. So they've definitely had chopping and changes throughout the course of this season, and I'm never sure I like that when you have to chop and change over the course of a season like this. It's so intense and you play so much Rocket League that there really isn't much room to maneuver within that.
No, there isn't, and especially when you get into the later part of the seasons, you almost want to have a team that sort of is settled in their rhythm, and it's got a team that's been working well throughout the entire season. So this is going to be an interesting one. I mean, certainly for me, it still almost seems like Dogon are very much, they're focused around Captain Quark and sort of, both on shots and on saves. He seems like he's an absolutely dominant force. But maybe for Severance, the key for them is certainly they seem like they can spread the play a little bit between the four of them. I'm not entirely sure who's exactly playing for them, whether they're going to bring in their sub, because he's played all of the games that he needs to so far this season. But it's definitely, it's an exciting one. It's an interesting one that could go either way. And I think what it's going to come down to, it's the old adage, it's a mental game, really. This is to me, this one is going to turn out to be. It's Sunday night. Whether these players have had a long week, I know I'm certainly feeling it a little bit. So there's a high probability that I am going to slur my words again and might make fail of the week for a second time for saying absolute gibberish on the stream. Don't know. But if what I'm basically trying to say is if the players are feeling tired, then that could have a massive factor going forward into this series.
It absolutely can. I don't think that's something that you quite think about when you think of esports. You think, well, if it's a football game, you can naturally, literally be tired. But in esports, it's such a mental strain, particularly at Rocket League, where you're having to be hyper-focused for this only short period of time. You're having to be hyper-focused on what you are doing, what everyone else is doing. It can be a massive mental strain on you as a team. And, well, if you're a little bit shorty, maybe a little bit frustrated after the week, I mean, you can quite quickly find yourself being a little bit toxic to your teammates, and that can really start to crumble away from you.
Can indeed, and I was just about to sort of say maybe the reason why we're sort of waiting at the moment is because we're waiting on Severance and whether they're just having a little nap before the game. But I have just sort of seen that they have entered into the lobby, so I'm pretty sure, Tom, rather than the lovely Twitch viewers watching us talk about what's going to happen, whichever of these teams is going to turn up, why don't we just cut over to Manfield Night and we can tell the players to get this game underway, Tom. But we've got to ask, I'm going to get in there quickly before you do. What's your prediction for this one?
I'm going to stick to the prediction that I sort of made when we were going through the team stats. I think here Dojon are just going to edge it. I think 3-1 here. I think given what is on the line for them, I think 3-1's probably going to be a fair result. I think the sweep will just about be avoided, but we're getting into this one.
Well, I just because the previous two series have been 2-2 draws, and because I am the draw master basically when it comes to RSC, that's going to be my prediction for this one. I think we've got another 2-2 draw on our hands, but it's certainly going to be a tight one. Yeah, we will see. And getting straight into it, both teams putting in a good solid performance, and there's that man that we told to look out for, Captain Quark, coming in from the halfway point. Slightly awkward touch off the sidewall there by Brun, and it just ends nicely into Papa Quark, and he sends him up into an early 1-0 lead.
I don't think they could ask for a better start, could they, Dojon? That is straight away, and they're going to win kickoff on the second occasion as well. Harvey's going to bring it away, look to attack for the first time for Severance, who now have the backs against the wall. Into the centre it goes, and Miss is going to force Clarky to chase it down this left-hand side. He can go central, he will go central, looking over at teammate. Average brings it away and actually gets it over the head of Brun as well. He says he's got a broken arm. I think it would be quite impressive if he is playing with said broken arm. But obviously not quite working for them right now. It's 2-0.
You got me off guard there. Who's playing with a broken arm, Tom?
It says Drew, broken arm.
Well, fair play. I mean, well, certainly one player that hasn't got a broken arm, it seems, is Captain Quark. He's putting an absolutely dominating performance at the moment. Definitely, as I said, it almost seems like Dogon focused around Quark, and he's turned up for sure. So Brun with broken arm has got to try and match him on this one, and this is good response, and it almost squeezes in, but Clark, he just sends it wrong side of the post. But a minute gone, and Dogon looking a little bit comfortable at the moment.
That being said, there's a shot that comes in. It's a great save from Average. He's just able to get that one cleared away. The man with the broken arm apparently is going to try and keep it alive. Average will clear it off of the backboard. Blizzy gets demoed. Might give Clarky an opportunity to go into a teammate. Won't do so. Blizzy brings it away eventually. Harvey is back. We have mentioned how he was supposed to be the important player for his team. Captain Quark looks to make it a hat-trick. Won't find the net on this occasion. I think Harvey just... I think in fact Severance as a whole needs to just settle down here a little bit.
Yeah, it's been sort of like a bit of a shock to the system perhaps, you know. Conceding 2 early goals, make that 3, squeezing it in. My word, indeed. Yeah, Severance just not turned up. Awkward touch there by Harvey. Lovely. Couldn't quite see that it was Average that sent it back in, but Lizzie getting on the score sheet for Dogon, giving them a 3-0 lead with just under 2 minutes played. And yeah, it definitely seems like he's caught Severance off guard, and it's like I said at the start, it almost seems like they're a little bit tired.
Maybe. It is Sunday night. I think plenty of people would like to be other places than perhaps playing in a Rocket League game of this nature. I suppose it really depends how much you're into it. Doshon definitely looking like they are into it though. Bruno take it away, keeping it alive is Blizzy. Bruno eventually gets it cleared downfield. Captain Quark able to just stop the attack. Shot comes in and it's saved by Average on this occasion. Quark has to bring it away. I think my pronunciation of Dogon, I'll go with, is being slightly taking the mick out of in chat, we'll say, for respect.
Dogon? Well, I don't know. I call it Dogon, and that's what I'm going to go with. And you know, we're casting some, so whatever we say goes really at the end of the day. And here comes Harvey now. Lovely touch into Brun. Can he get the on the end of this one? Not quite. Quark. Good speed from in centre off the back wall, but Severance finally looking like they're just turning up the heat a little bit and putting in a little bit of offensive pressure. They've been very quiet so far this game, and they can get some sort of a goal quickly, which they can indeed, and it's that man with the broken arm apparently. Run stepping in off a lovely Walker touch there by Average, but good pass infield there by Harvey into the path of Brun, sends it on target, and they've given themselves an opportunity.
I've given themselves an opportunity. 1 minute and 42 seconds there. There isn't a great deal of time in Rocket League. They're going to cheat this kickoff, and in fact, they might get a kickoff. Oh, they do! And it's Clarky who gets Severance back into the game. It was a wonderful cheat, wasn't it? Just caught Blizzy napping ever so slightly and taps it home. 3-2 Severance back into the game, and 1 minute and 39 is not a great deal of time still. But I think they'll fancy their chances a little bit more.
I'll tell you what, Tom, that caught me by surprise. I thought I had enough time to take a sip of my drink, and I nearly spat it out all over my keyboard. That happened so quickly, but I'm still here, fortunately, and definitely with a minute and a half left, Severance. Maybe their confidence is starting to build a little bit now. Harvey, good challenge on Blizzy. Didn't quite get in front of Quark, but Brian sending it into the midfield, and oh my word, Clarky nearly getting on the other end of that one, but Blizzy now taking it up on the counter-attack. Good touch passing field, didn't quite find one of his teammates, but certainly got to be careful of that. And Severance, even though they've got to push for this final goal with a minute left, they don't want to find themselves chasing two-goal deficit.
Yeah, they definitely do not, as here goes Brun trying to get his team back into the game. Blizzy will bring it away. 48 seconds, it's quickly ticking down for them, and this shot that comes in might just put the game to bed, and it must do. Hat-trick for Captain Quark in the first game of the series, and it hasn't come easily to him. There's a lovely shot from across the pitch, and now I think Dogon, or whatever we want to call them, have just about held on to this.
Just about, but we saw him get a quick kick-off goal and almost squeezing in another one just then, but Quark has been absolutely on point at the moment in this first game, and certainly living up to the stats that he's got behind him, and putting another solid performance here. And Severance, you've got to feel sorry for them. Here comes Quark though, shot on target, and Clarky, rotation on the back post there, nearly getting in another goal. But yeah, Severance just leaving it a little bit too late, I think. You know, he's deep into the second half of the game, and they finally turn up. But certainly it almost lit a fire underneath Dogon, who just wanted to make sure that they didn't let themselves back into this one, and putting in a solid performance, Dogon.
Definitely a solid performance. I mean, if you score 5 goals, it doesn't really matter how many you concede, does it? Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the game, and they'll pick it up again here. Dogon trying to go forward, is caught once more into the centre. Won't matter. 8 seconds to go. We know that they're going to get the first game of 4 in this series. Severance definitely made a challenge of it and a fight of it, but I think Dogon just about able to hold on in the end. Might add a 6th, won't do so. It will bounce to the floor, and they do indeed pick up this first game, Oscar.
They do indeed, and it's that man Quark. We said he was the one to watch out for, and he certainly was 679 points. I mean, 5 shots and 3 goals. That is a danger man if ever I saw one. And I think, I mean, those Severance, they just, snoozy from the start of the game, conceded 2 early goals, and we're just playing the chasing game. And when you're doing that, you're going to be stretching yourselves. And when you got someone like Quark, who you can just capitalise on any mistakes, so you've got to take him out of the game. So I think going forward into the next game, Severance has just got to look to just quieten him down a little bit, and maybe Harvey, you know, on paper he looked like he was one to sort of potentially match Quark, but he hasn't really shown up yet. So who knows? Still plenty left to play for though, Tom.
Yeah, I think Severance can definitely get back into this game, even if it is just getting that 1 point. I think they showed enough there. Maybe it's just when they had to chase that final goal, when it was going into the last minute, only needing 1. Maybe they just had to almost go for it a little bit too much, and it affected them there. But overall, I think there's plenty of positives they can take from that. Just need to, I don't know, pick it up.
Pick it up indeed, and I'm intrigued. I've seen a couple of people supporting either Severance or Dogon. A couple of comments coming in about a sweep. I'm not too sure, but do let us know in the chat which way you think this one's going to go. But game at number 2 underway. Good challenge there by Blizzy off the sidewall. Brun, good speed from in, trying to get on the end of that one, but Quark again reading it nicely off the backboard. And Harvey, a good solid 50 on the halfway line there. Just took some of the pressure off, but average though. Player shot into the middle there, but neither of his teammates really chasing hard on this one, and Dogon just sitting a little bit further back, it appears, in his first game, and just allowing Severance to build up a bit of offensive pressure.
Into the centre it goes from Broom to keep this offensive pressure alive, and Clarkey to try and chase it down. It goes back downfield. Boom drive from this Dogon side. Here goes average. Shot comes in from Captain Quark in the end, and it's very fast, it's very aggressive, but it is cleared away. Clarkey now with the save, with Blizzy's significantly slower shots, and really just trying to keep the attack alive. Now Broom looks to go forward. He runs out of boost. Harvey uses all of his boost to take it down. Now a shot comes in, and the shot's just going to go wide from Clarkey off at the post. It will go back downfield. Broom has to collect it in centre field. And now Harvey tries to bring it away once more. Definitely a battle in the midfield at the moment. Both sides creating an equal amount of attacking pressure. Really, this is going to have all to do for Clarkey. He's able to get it clear away in the end. Broom taking it back downfield, and Severance just need to go that one step further and find the net now.
Yeah, here comes Blizzy down on the counter, trying to get a flip reset. Didn't quite get it. Harvey was waiting patiently on the line. Good play, defensive play there from Harvey off the ceiling. Now just let the ball run away from him, but an awkward mistake there by Blizzy, and Harvey decided to wait for boost, it seemed, instead of going for the ball, and it's just allowed Dogon just to regroup themselves a little bit. Brun! My word, Quark is putting in a solid defensive performance now, going from the first game of being an offensive presence to being a solid back defender, and surprisingly though, 2 minutes played, and we're still 0-0.
Very, very tight game of Rocket League this, and Blizzy might try and change that. Into the centre it goes. Average has to track back to get to it. Takes it to his own corner in the end to do his business from there. Here he goes. Air dribble on this occasion. 50 with Broom, who's able to stop the attack. Now Harvey has a chance. An opportunity for Harvey, and he's going to score. The Severance are able to score the first of the game, and maybe, Morris Guy, that just opens it up now. 2 minutes 30 for the first goal. This could now turn into a multiple goal game.
You like to hope so. I mean, as a caster, we just want to see goals galore. I know anybody that's supporting these teams just want their team just to absolutely shut out the opposition. As Blizzy almost getting on the end of that one. Average. Great follow-up from him. And just when I say we want to see goals galore, it almost seems like Dogon says, well, all right, then we'll get the next one. And maybe the goal fest is inbound, but Brun not able to keep that one out. But good speed from Average, sends it into the back in there, and we're 1-0 as he hit the halfway point.
Just one of those things where the play opens up the second that you get into the next one. Here's Captain Court with a shot, and there's Captain Court with a goal as well. It's the quick 1-2 to turn it around. It was a perfect cheat once more.
Yes, indeed, and it's these sort of plays, I think, at the definitely when you're in the sort of the master tier, and you know you've got confidence. Just if you don't get the better of the kickoff, it almost seems like you need to make sure you got your second man or your third man just covering bases, because
that's the rule one, I think.
Oh, no,
he's broken it. He's broken the rule one.
Right, send him off. We don't want to see him. We don't want to see any of that on the field. They're out there. They break the rule one. That's going to cause a lot of controversy, and I think there'll be some people asking for a VAR decision on whether this game needs to be restarted. But nevertheless, 2 minutes to go, and Dogon have a slim advantage.
Well, I for one was, so I think that is absolutely disgusting, and he should be removed from the team. Here's Clarky, and it's 2-2.
Justice, is that, Tom? I don't know.
Well, it's not justice, because they're the ones who broke the rule one.
Oh, well, that's even more controversy then. This is descending into absolute anarchy on the field here, it seems. This has gone against everything that Rocket League stands for, and I'm not too sure what to believe in now, but certainly Severance will be grateful that they've managed to find themselves a way back into this one, and just trying to put some more offensive pressure on Harvey, not able to send that one on target. Report taken into the corner, but gets met again by Harvey, passing field into the path of Braun! And for the first time in quite some time, well, no, actually, sorry, that's complete lie, because they led the way at the start of this game, but I'm losing my mind, Tom. It's I just don't know what to say anymore after that Rule 1 break there. But point is, Severance got themselves back in the lead.
They did, and well, as we get back underway, Dogon trying to get back into it, might get back into it here. Blizzy gets the goal, and it's back and forth stuff. And a game that took 2.5 minutes to get a single goal. It's now got 6 goals in it with 1 minute and 22 to go. Defence is definitely not on top it.
It's not, but we got the goal fest though that we wanted, Tom. It seems like it's absolutely kicking off now as Average good speed from him, but an awkward touch into the sidewall. Run pass in field, and Harvey not able to get on the end of that one, but keeps possession now in the corner. Trying to find a pass in field. Oh my word, Quark! Nearly got the read on that one, but fortunately Clarkey playing patient this third man, and a lovely demo on the way back there from Harvey. Need to see a bit more of that. I haven't seen many demos, and anyone that's seen me stream before knows I love a demo, and Blizzy chasing this one. Lovely touch into the goal! Just a deftly touch to take it over the last man there, which I think was Harvey. And just like that, tables have turned again, and Dogon have now got the advantage with just under a minute to play.
They do, and it's one of those games that you cannot physically call. It was an overcommit, Vector says in chat, and it definitely was. It was not something you want to be doing at this stage when you've worked so hard to try and keep yourself in this series. Of course, the win eluding them now, evading them, I should say. If they are to lose this game, they'll be confident of taking it to overtime, though, if they can just get one more goal. Here goes Blizzy, let's try and put it to bed. All alone he goes. Quark will follow up, and he misses. And it's off the post. And now can Brune do anything on the attack? He goes to a teammate in the centre. Harvey needs to go for it, won't do it. Blizzy overcommit. Oh, at the other end, maybe? No.
Just feel like maybe Harvey should have left that for his teammate there. Oh my word, I'm almost losing out again, but 13 seconds to play. Clarkey, good touch upfield, but Blizzy, good speed from him, takes that one out of the equation. Harvey, though, from nowhere, can't get on the end of it, and Quark coming in at the back post, putting in an absolute defensive performance at the moment. Takes it upfield, grounds the ball, my word. Well, that was a game that had everything in it, that game.
My word, that's probably the greatest game of Rocket League I've seen this season, to be honest with you. 4-3 in the end to Dogon after such a close game, a close first half of the game, and well, now they're going to at least get the draw in this series. I still have the at winning it 3-1. I think Severance are just going to pick one up here, but I don't really know what to say about it, because if this is a sweep, it's definitely not been a battering. I just think it's been another one of those series where you've got one team who's obviously better than the other, but just not quite able to take charge.
Yeah, for sure. And you got to give almost props to Severance. They put in a poor showing in the first game, and it's almost like they had a bit of a talking to, just to sort of give themselves a chance in this second game. But Dogon are definitely looking very dangerous every time they go forward, especially with Quark, who absolute beast on defensive line on that occasion. But yeah, they've got the draw at least, and they've got the 2 wins, which takes them up to second place, if I'm correct, alongside Haven. So they will be wanting to push on and make sure Severance don't come back into this one at all and close the door. But I don't know, Tom, if you're Severance, how do you play this one?
Well, I score more goals than the opposition.
Oh, well, yeah. No, that's fair point, Tom. And I kind of walked into that one, I think.
Oh, dear. I love covering up for the fact I've got nothing to say. Onto the attack go Dogon. Harvey will try and get to it. Does get to it in the end, but gets beaten eventually. Shot's going to come in. Shot comes in and it won't quite find the net. But in all seriousness though, you can't be trying to play defensive. You've got to try and score goals. I know it sounds obvious, but if you keep it tight, if you stay on the back foot, you're only going to find yourself losing the game. You've got to go for it.
Indeed, and just make sure you don't leave your third man. What a save, Clarky! Just as I was about to say, don't leave your third man all alone at the back. He puts in an absolute stonker of a save to keep that one out. Oh, my word. Severance are putting in a bit of early pressure, and then just like that, Dogon get an almost counter-attack, and I mean, that's definitely what has been the strength so far for Dogon, is just soaking up the pressure and then just catching Severance on the break. That's what a lot of their goals have come from, and if they can keep that up, then they see themselves walking away with this third victory here. But early doors yet, and Severance are looking like they're trying to bring themselves back into this.
Severance definitely having the better of the chances, I'd say, in this first bit of the game. That being said, the shot might come in off the backboard. It won't do. There's a no-one home, and there is a massive overcommitted. It's a goal for Clarky. As Severance are going to get the lead, and now the question turns to, can they hold on to it this time?
Can they indeed? And roles reversal there. Blizzy and Average, second and third man, pushing very hard as Corky was pushing for the goal. And yeah, massive overcommit, and fair play Severance, they capitalised. But yeah, can they hold on to this one now? As slight miscommunication on the right hand side there, but Dogon come away with it now. Average gets met solidly there by Brun. In possession now though. Harvey Walker touched onto the left hand side. Quark's going to get straight onto that one. Again, lets the ball run away from him, and a little bit of hit and hope from both teams at the moment. Neither team really sort of taking command, it seems, but Severance, more importantly to them, they've got a slim advantage. But since that goal, Dogon are putting in a lot of pressure and just trying to work their way back into this one. But Brun gets a shot on target, and Blizzy sends that one to the corner, and they've still got that slim advantage.
Do have the slim advantages. Here goes Severance once more. Brun can't do anything with it off the corner. Eventually touches it over Average and out to centre field. He's going all alone actually here. Can't quite get to it. Into the centre it goes. Harvey's there. Harvey takes a shot and it's off the post. Clarky follows it up, and Clarky gets the goal. 2 goals for Clarky, 2 goals for Severance, and they start to go into cruise control in this game 3 to try and at least save a point from the series.
Indeed, and I don't know what's happened to Dogon, but they're not looking as threatening as they did in the first couple of games, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to this. They've got to do the chasing now to try and work their way back into this one. But so far, Severance are looking good for their lead. Had a couple of sketchy moments. Brun taking field a bit too much onto it. Kalaki keeping the ball alive in behalf of Harvey, but Quark coming in from the back post there. Sends it into corner, but Brun meets him on the right hand side, gets the challenge in, shot on target. And where was this Severance team in games 1 and 2? I don't know, Tom, but they're finally here and they're finally putting in the performance.
He's broken his arm, and the Dokkan defends it. It's his first goal of the series, by my reckoning. He might have got one actually in game 1, but definitely the most impressive goal so far. Dokkan just falling apart, I think, and it's a much different Severance side to what we've seen so far. They'll be thinking, as Harvey goes for a flip reset, they'll be thinking of trying to wrap up now a draw in this series rather than the defeat they thought they were certainly slumping to.
And he'll certainly do them a lot of good in terms of league standings. If they get another, oh my word, Clarky! My word, Severance are just putting this into cruise control now. Good challenge there by Quad, but Brun. It seems like Severance are just finally sort of working as a team, it seems, not stretching their play too far and being a tight-knit unit. And it just goes to show you that even though Quad got a good challenge in, it fell into the path of Harvey, whoever it was. More importantly, yeah, and they've got a 5th! My word, I did not expect this.
Well, have they passed the controller to their older brothers and it's just changed the game? I don't know. 5-0 after losing pretty consequentially in the first 2 games. Oh, it's unbelievable. I don't think anyone saw this coming from Severance. I mean, you sometimes get a 1-0. There we go. That might just be another twist in the tail as Captain Quark follows it up, and there we go. Captain Quark with the goal. We haven't even mentioned, by the way, Clarky's hat-trick. 4 goals for him. In Australia, that's counted as a double hat-trick, apparently.
What? A double hat-trick? You lost me in that one, Tom.
Yeah, no, I agree, it's stupid, but apparently that's how Australia counts it.
Ah, well, that's why they're down under and we're up here. I'm getting distracted. Let's talk about what's going on in the game itself here. It's Blizzy now. I mean, it's a lot of effort to do. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock, and Dogon, I don't think they're going to find themselves back into this one, but a couple of goals and doing well and good going forward into game at number 4 is Quark trying to find a second elusive goal for them. 1 minute left to play, and it just seems Severance. I'm absolutely stunned because they were not showing any sort of sign of this, and Harvey, banger! Hits the post and comes back out. But yeah, it's Severance. I'm absolutely stunned. I still am, and I don't know what exactly they've done, but they're doing it well in this 3rd game, and they're giving themselves a glorious chance to get the draw.
They might even get a 6th hit as it follows up. Harvey won't find it. Clarky might find his 5th, I should say, and he does find his 5th. He's now 1 goal away from an actual double hat-trick in this game. 5 goals for Clarky, 6 for Severance. Where have they been all series long?
Well, this is putting in for an absolute glorious game at number 4 here. Severance looking very comfortable in their lead, and Dogon looking very out of forms. Maybe they just sort of a little bit too relaxed after they knew they got the draw. Seen it happen so many times on streams when teams get themselves, the draw. They know they're not going to lose, and they just seem to just allow their opponents to come back into the game. As Clark, you're trying to find a 7th there on the buzzer, didn't quite get it. Keep the ball alive as Harvey couldn't quite get the fish to touch on that one, and Blizzy awkwardly touches it into the ground. And what an absolute shocker. I don't think anyone would have predicted Severance were going to come back with that. I mean, that's insane. 12 shots that's probably more shots in game number 3 than they had combined in games 1 and 2. But maybe, I don't know, I'm just making that one up. I'll probably absolutely wrong on that. But yeah, I mean, Clarky, what a stonking performance from him. And fair play, Severance. Dogon, they've got to bring themselves back into this, dust themselves off if they want to come away with the series victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, really, Dogon have got to reassess now, take every single second that they're allowed before we get into the final map of the day, which I believe is... I forgot the name. It's Beckwith Park. There we go. That's the one. But they need to take every second they can to try and get themselves back into this and make sure that they can take away with the win. Because remember, they look like they were going to sweep this at one stage. I think we said that you could see Severance getting back into it, but I think realistically the lingering thought was actually the most likely result is Dogon getting the sweep here, and Severance have, well, they fought quite hard to get back into it, and now they've got a chance to save the series.
They have indeed, and despite the fact that Severance brought themselves back into this one, I've got to give a shout out to Captain Quark, because he's been really rock solid for Dogon, and they're going to have to lean on him in this fourth game here. But Clarkey getting a good kick off there, trying to keep the ball alive straight for Severance, trying to pick up where they left off. As path being filled by Harvey. What a save on the line, and Brunt can't quite get the shot on target. Harvey though tries his luck and just sends it wide, and Severance definitely looking like they're just literally just picking up from where they left off and trying to get that early goal, but not quite.
As here goes Brun going to chase it down. Into the corner it goes. Has to make sure he doesn't overcommit here. We'll go maybe up for this one for the challenge. Won't find it as Harvey has to clear away. Chases down onto the left-hand side it goes. Dogon need to play differently to how they played in that last game. Maybe it was a case of going overly defensively, and now they just need to go back onto the front foot. Off the backboard it goes, cleared away. Blizzy will chase it down. Blizzy takes a shot. Harvey is there, and Harvey gets the save as well. Still going though. Central it goes. Harvey clears away once more with a booming drive downfield. Clarkey has to stop it going back the other way, and now a shot comes in from Brun, and Captain Quark has to get the save in once more.
Indeed, I'm looking at the rotations through the two teams. It seems like Severance have just tightened things up a little bit, and Dogon are just a little bit stretched, rotating quite wide, and maybe that's the deciding factor between the two teams, and why Dogon are struggling to break down the defense. What a save though! When you got saves like that, that's one way to make sure that Severance are definitely keeping Dogon at bay. But yeah, demos. I think if you've got a tight-knit team like Severance are now playing, you've got to take some of the players out of the equation, get them on the rotations, and try and open up some space. That would be what I'd be trying to do right now.
As here goes Quark into the centre it goes, not able to find it, he's average. Blizzy keeps it alive. Blizzy going all alone here, will look for a double touch, no doubt. Finds it, not a double touch, but finds a lovely goal anyway. Into the roof of the net. And Dogon have had to work hard for this lead, and that is a wonderful flick.
It is indeed. I mean, I said demos, but maybe solo plays, just beautiful plays like that are the way to go forward, and definitely click that one for a highlight reel if you can in chat, because that would be a nice one to look at again. They've got to make sure now though that Dogon, we saw them do it in games 1 and 2, they've got a couple of goals, just seems to give them a bit of a confidence boost, but Severance are not looking to let this game run away from them too soon. They want to make sure they get that draw. Clarkey, good challenge from him. Harvey, speed, but there's the man of the series so far for me is Quark. A good 50, but ball in spot for Brun now off the back ball. Clarkey gets it on the end of it, doesn't. He's met in the air by average. Severance looking to try and bring themselves back into this game.
Just feel like this game 4's got 1-0 written all over it, you know. Just feels like a game. That being said, is a shot. Quark clears it away. I think the defences just seem to be on top. Saw how hard the Dogon had to work for that first goal. I don't see them, it may be 2-0 or 3-0, but I can't really see Severance getting back into it and breaking it down. 2 minutes to go as here goes Harvey down the left-hand side. He goes, has to go all alone. Blizzy's there to cut it off. He'll chase it down. Hasn't got any boost to follow it up with a goal. Can't quite get to it anyway. Cleared out to the red corner of Clarkey. Clarkey brings it away, goes all over the top. There's not really a man back. Blizzy with a strong 50-50 on Harvey to get the ball clear. Harvey can't follow it in. And it's still, with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, is 1-0. I still think it might just stay 1-0.
Last time you said that, we nearly came close to another goal, Tom, and we might see one here as Quark trying to get a shot on target, but just hits the wrong side of the post. But he overcommit though by, oh my word, average! Might somehow manages to get the read off the sidewall there. I thought he fluffed his lines, but somehow manages to get that one. Not too sure how much he knew of it, but he'll take that nonetheless. And a 2-goal advantage is definitely going to make them just relax a little bit more. But Severance, we've seen them, they've been pushing hard trying to find that goal. If they can get themselves back into this one quickly, then with 1 minute left to play, anything's possible.
Dogon definitely able to recollect their thoughts after that previous game and get back ahead of the curve, and that's the most important thing here. That being said, Severance won't go down without a fight. Average with the save, will just about stop the attack. Blizzy keeps chasing it down, knowing a third will wrap up the series. Blizzy again into the centre it goes. Brun with a strong save. Clarky will get save credit in the end. It's still alive here as Brun has to clear it away once more. Quark stops it in midfield and Blizzy has to stop the attack once more. 30 seconds to go to find 2 goals. Dogon no, but second place looks like it might just be theirs. It goes into the centre. It will almost certainly be theirs now as Average makes it 3. And not quite the 1-0 that I predicted, but the 3-1 I predicted.
Yeah, you've called the series, it seems, Tom, and fair play to you. You did that on the last stream we casted together, so I'll be asking for your tips though in the next stream that we do together, and might take you lead in that one. But Clarky trying to get some sort of a slim chance. They're going to have to get a kick-off goal if they're going to give themselves an even better chance. But nice way to finish off there by Clarky. Just takes it over Quark, who floundering on that one, but 25 seconds left. They're going to have to make sure they get the better of the kickoff here. It's Clarky squaring off against Blizzy. Blizzy, good, solid challenge, and Brun met in the air there by Average, and 20 seconds left. You just feel like this is it now for Dogon.
This goes Harvey down the right-hand side. He goes into the centre, maybe. Chance for Clarky. Clarky won't find it. That might just seal the game and series for Dogon. I think it's too late now. 5 seconds to go. Dogon have just about dug deep, and they've had to dig deep after being battered in this game 3 to manage to win the series 3-1. It won't go in at the Dev. Dogon are the winners, and they are just about winners of the series.
Just about, and Severance, it just didn't quite click for them in that third game. Then they had good signs of offensive pressure. They looked like they were pushing for it, and then they got caught by Dogon, who got a nice solo effort goal there, which just opened up the game in favour of Dogon. And when you got a team like Dogon, it almost seems like they were a team that when they had the confidence and they had the goal, they just seemed to settle down a little bit and push on from that. Whereas when Severance got them on the back foot in that third game, they just kind of fell apart. So going forward, Dogon definitely got to watch out for that and just make sure they don't let that game run away from them when they go down. But they looked a good team and definitely ones to watch out for. But how did you? It was a great series though to cast, though, Tom.
Yeah, it was a wonderful series, and I really think in that last game it was that first goal that sealed it. I think really, if that first goal went the way of Severance, we probably got another 4-3, 4-4 game on our hands, and maybe even an overtime. But I think just Dogon able to use that organised defence and not have that pressure on themselves after that first goal, I think that was really what won it for them. But regardless, it was a wonderful series, and now they're second in the league, and I don't think they can complain about that heading into what is now getting close to, past that halfway point where you start to actually look at your league position properly and think, where are we going to be in a couple of weeks' time?
Indeed, and that is definitely tight at the top, in the top 6 in the Ignis League. So bets are off, I think, at the moment as to who exactly is going to come away with those coveted spots. But for the time being, though, Tom, that's going to be it for RSC this week. And of course, we'll be back next week. But before we do that, obviously, you have to give a good shout out to the sponsors, which are, of course, Sanctuary, Shaman Esports, Synthesize Designs, Dead Dinosaur, T-Mill, Panthera Esports, HyperX, Gamers Apparel, and Badass Studios. And of course, merchandise is always in Gamers Apparel. If you want to go and get some lovely mugs and get some nice gear, go and have a look at that. And of course, when the polls come in for next week, make sure you vote for your favourite team so you can get them on stream and you can see how well they perform under the pressure of being casted by us all. But that's that spiel done. Any final thoughts from you, Tom?
No, I have just seen someone eating a Big Mac with a fork and knife on the Twitch ads, and I have to say I'm now permanently scarred for life. But anyway, hopefully you heard that intro and Twitch ads haven't screwed you over. But anyway, shout out to the sponsors, of course. And I think the moral of the story is that we need to get rid of Twitch ads.
Well, I know an ideal world, but that's a whole nother story. But I don't think we've got time for that tonight, Tom. So I think we'll just wrap it up there for tonight then. So from myself, Moray Sky, And from Tom and from the rest of the casters from tonight, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Against my intentions, I let you turn me violet instead. Summer high, met you in August. New York, back to my cold apartment. Distance sucks, but at least I'm still with you. Whiteout skies, middle November. You and I, flights to wherever. I don't mind as long as it's with you. As long as it's with you. The festival that we met at, where you were just a face in a crowd, and now I can't imagine me with anybody else. As we close out the night underneath the lilac sky. Summer high, met you in August. New York, back to my cold apartment. Distance sucks, but at least I'm still with you.